The Rochester Falcons have had a tough time matching their success of 3 years ago when they went undefeated during the regular season. This year, they have started the season with an 0-2 record. On the other side, the Lake Orion Dragons' biggest loss is the graduation of running back Dennis Mahan. This year, Lake Orion has retooled its offense and will start a sophomore at quarterback. Tonight, the Rochester Falcons take on the Lake Orion Dragons in their first league contest on the TCI Sports Game of the Week. The TCI Sports High School Football Game of the Week.
And offensive guard, number 63.
Tonight from Lake Orion High School, it's the Rochester Falcons taking on the Lake Orion Dragons. Hello again, everyone. Dave Zorin along with Joe Abramson here at Lake Orion High School. And Joe, tonight, two teams that are having a little bit of a rough start, but should be a pretty good matchup.
Yeah, two pretty young teams and two teams that are coming off 30-point losses last week. Lake Orion to Hazel Park, Rochester to Pontiac Central. Now, if you want to read anything into this, the first week, Lake Orion played Pontiac Central and won 20-14. Rochester, they lost 17-14 to Birmingham Seaholm in overtime. Close games, but the one common opponent. Lake Orion won, Rochester lost. So I guess you'd have to give a slight edge to Lake Orion. I think the key to this game is, can Rochester control Lake Orion's ground game and then get a little bit of a ground attack going themselves with their junior backfield. It's a very inexperienced team, but a very talented team.
Okay, we'll be back with the kickoff of tonight's game right after these messages. Stay with us. The TCI Sports Game of the Week is brought to you by Modernistic Carpet Cleaning, Comet Burgers in Royal Oak. Buy one burger, get one free when you mention TCI Sports. Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. And by Bell Tire.
I'm the king.
Rock and roll?
No, coupons. I'm Mike Gothier. Some people call me the king of coupons because nobody brings you bigger savings than my Market Share Coupon Book. Having trouble saving money? Then do what the Tripp family does. Carry the book, Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. You'll save thousands on things you use every day, like eyeglasses, oil changes, and cleaning from companies you trust. But you can't save unless you carry the book. Remember, you'll save a king's ransom using my Market Share Coupon Book.
Rumor has it, Comet Burgers is definitely the place to be seen in downtown Royal Oak. After the party, out for dinner, just looking for cold soft drinks, great burgers and fries, milkshakes or pizzas. Comet Burgers is the place to run into just about anybody.
Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Even old what's-his-name. Comet Burgers, they're out of this world.
When you call Modernistic, we'll show up with this. $35,000 worth of carpet and upholstery cleaning technology. Call the competition, they'll probably show up with this. Our truck-mounted equipment can professionally clean your carpets with 10 times the power of portable cleaners, removing dirt, harmful bacteria, pollens, and more. The competition can. Of course, there is one thing the competition does that we can't. They make a lot more noise.
Modernistic, count on us.
So the tire store guy says, great deal on them tires. You want valve stems? No thanks. Your tires won't work without valve stems. They're extra. Then he told me all the other extras I needed. So guess what happened to my great deal on them tires?
Only Bell Tire gives you out-the-door pricing. You get the guaranteed lowest price, and at Bell Tire, it's the total, complete, everything's included price with absolutely no extras ever.
Bell Tire.
Nobody comes close, nobody's closer.
And welcome back to Lake Orion High School. Dave Zorin along with Joe Abramson here to bring you this contest between the Rochester Falcons and the Lake Orion Dragons. The Dragons will kick off to Rochester as we take a look at last year's records. 2-3 in the conference, 4-5 overall for Rochester, and identical, well, no, in the conference, 3-2 for Lake Orion and 4-5 overall. So overall, they were identical. And current records right there. Rochester off to a rough start. Lake Orion 1-1.
And this is their first conference game.
And the kick is a squiv, taken at about the 22-yard line by one of the upbacks, and that was Aaron Burton for the Falcons, and he brings it across the 45 to about the 47, 48-yard line.
And in the
Excuse me, the 28-yard line.
And in the restructuring of the OAA, Lake Orion, which was one of the dominant Division II teams, moved up to Division I, which I think went from 6 teams to 7 teams anyway, with the addition of Clawsons and Avondales into the entire conference. So this is their first Division I conference game ever.
And there we see Rich Burrell, the head coach for the Lake Orion Dragons. His team 1-1. Coming into this contest, first conference contest. And Collins hit at the line of scrimmage, spinning, trying to get an inch out of that, but the defensive line for the Dragons holds strong. You see Collins on the carry.
Yeah, in Lake Orion, it really is a matter of what team shows up. You know, a team that lost 47-12 last week, or a team that beat Pontiac Central 20-14, the same Pontiac Central team which beat Rochester 40-7. And so far on that first play, the defense at least has shown up tonight.
Second down, and we've got 8 to go. A gain of about 2 yards on that. Here, lunging forward was Chris Sirianni. And Joe, we see a very young team, a team full of juniors.
Full of juniors and sophomores, and a program with an undefeated JV team after 3 weeks now. And they're missing a few linemen that have been injured. One of their top players, their center, Lytle, I believe it is, he's out for the year with a knee injury, and he's their top guy. So it's something, at least you get some guys experience, but like the coach said, it doesn't do you any good next year. You're worrying about now.
3rd and 5. Benyon, the quarterback, so let's see how he reacts with the new center as he overthrows his intended receiver, Bulow. Jeff Bulow, he had him open, Joe. He just threw it over his head.
Yeah, he was wide open and probably would have had the first down, and he's kind of struggled this year. Started 2 or 3 games last year as a sophomore, but there wasn't much pressure on him because he wasn't expected to do anything. Here, he's expected to be the guy. He's the leader of the team, and still showing a little lack of confidence with that throw. That really is a makeable throw.
And it's a punting down for the Falcons as they get it inside, no, just outside the 30-yard line now. And the kick from Granke, number 72, and they're punting. And the officials for tonight's game, Steve Kelly, the referee. The umpire will be Dan Gilliard, Brian Dugan, the line judge, Ray LaFray, the head linesman, and Bill Heintzgill, the back judge. First and 10 ball is at about the 31 or 32-yard line, 31-yard line, as we have markers on the side of the field, so that's going to help us tonight. Yard lines. And the handoff to the first man through, and a pretty good gain for Lake Orion as Dave D'Onofrio, a number we'll be calling a lot. It's a pretty good gain on first down, Joe.
And that's going to be a key thing for Lake Orion. You see their veer offense, and here they give it to the first man through, D'Onofrio. And this is a guy who, I believe it was him, had 130 yards and 3 touchdowns in the first week in the win over Pontiac Central. He's one of their key guys. Ducharme's one of their key guys. Let's see which, like their coaches said, it's a matter of what team shows up, week 1 or week 2.
Big gain for D'Onofrio. Second down now in short yardage as Tooley hands off to the other man in the backfield. And that is D'Onofrio again, rather. So D'Onofrio showing some power on 2 carries, and he has gained 20 yards.
And he looks like he's a man with a mission, and his line's doing a great job of opening up huge holes. Look at that.
Right fake there to the first man through, and then D'Onofrio just all power.
Yeah, that's just a wide open hole. Gets the first down, and it's not something we want to harp on, but we do have to mention that this is a team who had to overcome a team tragedy last week. There you see an injured player,
and that's D'Onofrio down.
And that's someone they don't want to lose, but they did before their blowout loss last week. They went directly from a funeral of a former teammate to a football game, and that's kind of hard. That's hard to do if you're a pro player. For a high school kid to do it, it's darn near impossible. And now, you've had a week to kind of get that through your system. This should be a different Lake Orion team than what showed up last week against Hazel Park.
D'Onofrio gets off on his own power, and he will more than likely get back in the game on the next play. Darren Tooley, the quarterback, number 12. And he'll go with 2 men in the backfield. It is Jimmy Lord, number 33, the fullback. And the tailback gets it this time, and that's number 5, Rick Green. So Green trying to get back to the line of scrimmage, and it'll be close if he did.
Yeah, blocking just wasn't there. Now you've got D'Onofrio coming back on the field, and I think he's going to be the main guy. You know, this is a team that's always been more of a running team, so you kind of have a continuity of the offense, but you're coming off of a couple of years of Dennis Mahan, who last year almost got 2,000 yards. It got over 1,900. You just don't replace 1,900 yards with one guy. It takes a committee of running backs to do that.
One receiver split down to the bottom. That's Petrello. PJ Petrello down to the bottom of the screen. And it's D'Onofrio again. Full powered, bounces outside for more yardage. And he gets out of bounds at about the 30-yard line of the Falcons. And it's going to be grind-em-up football tonight, Joe, as we see the ground game going to work here for the Dragons.
Yeah, I like this. This is your pure fullback here. He cuts to the outside. Now, if this is a tailback, he probably scores the touchdown. But it is a fullback, and he does what a fullback should do right here. Sticks it to the defender, and then he goes out of bounds. He never went down. Just the sidelines got in his way. But those big running backs like that. You know, punish the corners.
Split again down to the bottom is Petrello. Handoff again to D'Onofrio over to the other side of the field, and a flag down, and it looks like it's in the territory of holding.
Yeah, and that's another nice gain by D'Onofrio. And at the rate he's going, he's going to carry the ball 40 times tonight, but he's also going to get around 200 yards.
Looks like it is a holding call against Lake Orion, so that will knock him back. So look for a 1st and 20 coming up now.
Well, that's the first thing that's gone wrong offensively for the Dragons. And with a 1st and 20.
Holding on the offense, still first down.
And we'll have to see with a 1st and 20, do they go to a passing game yet or not? This is a team that, again, this is a solid, fundamentally sound team that has a lot of faith in its defense. I don't know that they want to take any risks as far as throwing the ball. You know, if you don't score here, at least you pin Rochester deep in their own territory.
The holding took place about a yard back from the original line of scrimmage, so it'll be 1st and 21. Julie to throw. Julie has his man outside and back to the original line of scrimmage, so a big play there, and it was complete out there to number 22, his receiver.
Player to be named later.
Yeah. Mike Rolfingsmeyer is what they're calling it, and it is.
Right. This is a team that has a big variety of numbers between their home uniforms and their road uniforms. That was a nice quick hitch pass, and he was a little fortunate that the corner fell down on the play. Got him 11 yards, actually. He's got him 2nd and 9. Now you can go back to the running game.
2nd and 9 for the Dragons. There they go, the option play, and the Falcons read it very well and knock them back for about a 3-yard loss. So the Dragons have to come up with a big 3rd down play here, and the Falcons have done a good job to force this.
Well, this pitch to Ducharme left him with nowhere to go. D'Onofrio's the only blocker in front of him. He's going to block one. Maybe if you're lucky, he'll block 2 guys, but there's 5 Falcons there waiting to tackle him. Here's the play before the quick hitch again, and you saw the corner had just slipped there, Mike Collins, and that gave him enough time to get the completion and set up, well, what is now 3rd and 13.
3rd and 13, D'Onofrio the only back there, and he'll be blocking. And do we have a pass interference? No, they say he slipped. No flag on it. And it looks like Collins is off to the races, and he's got it. Nobody's going to catch him. And a big play for the Falcons. There it is. Mike Collins, with probably one of the fastest guys out there.
Yeah.
And so when he got it, all it was just a couple of blocks is all he needed, and he took off down the sideline.
One of those juniors, 79 yards, Mike Collins. And, hey, this is the guy who 2 plays ago slipped and gave up the completion to Rolfingsmeyer. This time, I think the receiver slipped a little. That's where you maybe would have seen the interference. As you take a look up top, and you're just not going to see the guy slip. But right now, you've got a receiver down. That's Rolfingsmeyer again, and I do think he only slipped, and it went right to Collins. And like you said, he's off to the races. No one's going to catch him.
And you don't know if I kind of saw Collins had his hands on him, but he was just checking him, hand checking him, and you don't know if it was a pass interference or not. Refs were right there in front of him, and no call. So Falcons get on the board, but they do not get the extra point.
It just tailed off to the right. Shanked it actually Tell you one thing, I think if you're an official, you probably are looking at that saying 2 plays ago, Collins slipped, so you know that that part of the field is slick. So if the receiver falls this time, well, it's just the conditions that you're playing under.
So Collins with about an 80-yard return, I think, on that. 79 yards was the official interception return for the touchdown. Let's take a look here.
Let's take a look here. The quarterback's looking right now. He's going left with it. And right about this point is where Rolfingsmeyer slipped, and it's right into Collins' hands. And I don't think that it's going to be a completion if the receiver doesn't slip. The only thing is that now there's no one there to tackle the corner who's on his way to a touchdown.
So the Falcons strike first, and it's their defense that comes up big. And they will do the kicking now. And what's strange in this situation is the Falcons are again on defense, and the Dragons get a chance to run their offense
I was
again.
going to say, that's the toughest part for the quarterback, especially as he just threw the interception. Now he's got to come out and do it again. And the fact is that it goes back to that holding penalty that put them in a passing situation.
There we see the kicker for the Falcons, John Handley, number 2. Also a defensive back. Back to receive. You see number 88. And that is Walt Dickmeyer for the Dragons, and he gets it at about the 5-yard line. So Dickmeyer, full speed ahead, gets out to about the 25-yard line.
Good return, good field position, good up-front blocking on that return by the Dragons special teams.
Correction, that was 82 on the return. I'm trying to find that number, 82. Adam Rickard on the return. It's just tough to find these numbers as they have their white jerseys. Their away jerseys are in numerical order, and then the game jerseys,
or the green,
or the green jerseys, I should say, are backwards on the.
Yeah, and Adam's number. He's number 9.
So they get dual personalities home and away. Stacked up at the line here, so nothing there, and that was on the carry, Lord. So Lord's first carry.
And that's sort of the deal I guess Rick Barry used to have when he was with the Houston Rockets for 1 year. He was always number 24. Moses Malone had 24. So he said, all right, I'll wear 2 at home and 4 on the road. It doesn't happen anymore.
Got a chance to do that. Huh?
Yeah.
You got both the numbers. Thule hands off to the first man through. D'Onofrio into the backfield. And another big gain for him as we'll have a 3rd and short yardage coming up for the Dragons.
Well, this is what the Dragons want to keep doing, and this is what Rochester expects them to do. We talked to Coach Merlo beforehand. We said, what do you think they're going to do? He goes, run it down our throats. If you talk to the Lake Orion people, what do you want to do? We want to run it down their throats. They only got in trouble when they had to pass. It doesn't mean they can't pass, but 3rd and 9 is a have-to-pass situation. They didn't want to deal with that. Keep doing what got them going. Here on 3rd and 2, you've got a lot of options to run.
See what they do. 3rd and 2, Lord and D'Onofrio in the backfield. 2 receivers split. Thule trying to find some room, and he's just going to run out of real estate as they finally catch up to him.
I'll tell you what, that's a different quarterback in there.
Yeah.
They just switched quarterbacks on that play, I guess. There's Omar Rivera, and I don't know if he's just their option quarterback or what, but
they sure did.
Whatever it was, it didn't work.
Yeah. And do you see Thule anywhere on the sidelines?
Yeah, he's on the sidelines.
Okay.
And he was near the coaches looking like he was going to go back in for the next play, but obviously it's a punting situation, so you don't worry about that.
So Omar Rivera goes in. He couldn't do anything, and it's 4th and about 12 coming up. And there you see the punter. Back there, number 80. And that is McCutcheon, Mike McCutcheon, to do the punting. A little bit of pressure on him there, and he felt it as he shanked it off the side of his foot.
Might have gotten blocked.
I tell you, in great field position, too, now for the Falcons. So that might have gotten blocked as McCutcheon.
And Roger Post got in there pretty quick. He was being blocked, and well, let's take a look.
See the pressure he gets here.
Let's see if he gets a piece of it or not. There's Roger Post right there. Boy, you can't tell from there.
You don't know how far away he is, yeah.
You just can't tell.
So we'll see now the Falcons first time.
Yeah, if Post didn't block it, he at least forced the punt, and the Falcons have great field position, and what an opportunity to get up, you know, by more than 1 touchdown.
Here come the Falcons now on their second possession offensively. Look at this run. Sirianni breaks it outside for the first down, and he'll get out to about the 22-yard line.
Well, Sirianni, an 11th grader who started last year as a sophomore, and he's got some speed, and he showed it there. Good vision, too, to get to the outside. And you can just see how this Rochester team's picked up momentum this time around. The last time, they're a little sluggish on offense. Now they're up with a bit of a lead, getting some blocking downfield, an easy first down, and they're already in scoring position.
Aaron Burton, one of the key blocks out there, number 40, to spring them loose. Sirianni again, this one right up the middle. And what a hole the offensive line put in for him. And here's a fumble, and the Falcons will get it back in the end zone. The Falcons get it in the end zone for a touchdown.
Ryan Brown.
Ryan Brown, number 44, I believe it was.
Yes. Well, take a look here. Sirianni gets through, and he's going to get grabbed from behind right there by Rivera, which you think at the time is stopping a touchdown, because I think he's gone if that doesn't happen. Now he fumbles the ball right here, 44. Watch him. He's got the ball. Touchdown.
Well, the Falcons have scored 2 touchdowns, and not by traditional means here. Let's take a look.
No, right there's where Rivera apparently stops the...
it's a hit from behind here that pops
the touchdown.
Right there.
I believe it's number 55 there, O'Brien, who forces the fumble. And again, 44, Ryan Brown comes in, falls on it in the end zone. That's a touchdown.
So with 4:43 here in the first quarter, the Falcons score their second touchdown.
And they're going to take a timeout now because obviously having missed the first extra point, they're going to go for 2, try to get to a 14-0 lead. But, well, this is what the Falcons needed, because it's harder and harder for a team to grind it out the way Lake Orion wants to if you're down by 2 touchdowns.
So here come the Falcons now, and they want to go for the 2 to try to make up for that missed extra point.
And they've got one player coming on the field late, Jeff Hurst. This is his first game of the year. He missed the first 2 games, but he's one of their better players as well.
Falcons to throw into the end zone, and guess who gets it? He got the 2, Ryan Brown.
Tell you what, good throw by Benyon. We got on him on that first throw he made earlier, and this doesn't go into the passing stats or anything like that. This was a much tougher throw to make because Brown was covered. Take a look at this. He finds him. He's patient, too. He could throw it right now. Not a good decision. Now he waits, lets the receiver go to the corner, puts it right in his hands, 2-point conversion, and now that missed kick doesn't matter.
Great play. Let's take a look at it again, Joe.
Take a look
and
right
he took
here.
his time. He's got plenty of time.
Look at the patience. He could have thrown a couple of steps before that. Instead, he waited for him to get into the end zone, got it to him.
And by then, the defender's down on the ground.
Yeah.
Trying to make the play.
Good execution, and boy, if you're Lake Orion, you've got to come up with a sustained drive this time.
2 plays, 37 yards total, and 27 seconds off the clock for Rochester. So they have just barely had the ball, and they've got 14 points. And Lake Orion, if you look at time of possession, they're dominating right
Absolutely.
now. But the scoreboard doesn't show it.
It helps when you score on defense.
Yeah. So 2 very unconventional touchdowns, but they come up big for the Falcons, and they lead 14-0. Taking it back there again was Rickard, Adam Rickard.
Oh, my.
He breaks loose. Rickard breaks loose to the 50 and into Falcon territory. What a great job. And finally getting him down was Mike Collins. He was the only fastest guy to catch up to him.
I was going to say, good job by Mike Collins, a 48-yard return. And now the Dragons are in business, and they've got to take advantage of this great field position. What a return here by Adam Rickard. Good blocking up front again. Got to take care of our boy here, Bob Carlton, the special teams coach for Lake Orion. He must have set this up.
Right up the middle,
and right here, Collins from behind, and he doesn't mess around with shoestring tackles here. He gets him up high and makes sure he doesn't score.
So Rickard gets the Dragons in great field position. D'Onofrio snapped up one of the first times he's been stopped. Gain of maybe a yard, and the Falcons are fired up.
I'll tell you, I think Rochester, there must be something about strange touchdowns involving this team. Because last week against Pontiac Central, there was a play that the coaches were telling us about that Pontiac Central's on their own 1-yard line, and This ball snapped back and ends up being a 100-yard run. He said actually the guy had the ball for 109 yards from the back of the end zone to the other end zone. There's just a lot of weird stuff.
5 carries, 46 yards. Tooley back in at quarterback for the Dragons. And a whistle there just as they get the play off. The illegal procedure down there. We'll see what it is. Yep. Illegal procedure against the Dragons. Let's hear the call down there.
Dead ball, false start on the offense. Still second down.
It's one of those things that we've learned is the actual terminology in high school. There is no such thing as illegal procedure. It's always a false start, just like there's no such thing as offsides. It's always encroachment. And that's only in high school football where that exists.
So the false start knocks him back.
Oh, good tackle.
Big tackle there by number 35 for Battershell for Rochester. And Battershell got him up by the collar.
Oh, yeah, Rick Green just, fortunately for him, actually, that he went back so quickly so he couldn't mess up his knees or anything like that. But this is a quick tackle up high. Take a look right here, and that's a very clean tackle. Good defense, and again, you've got 3rd and 14, an obvious passing down. Last time these guys threw the ball, they gave up a touchdown. You've got your starting quarterback out there to throw it, Tooley. Let's see what he does.
Tooley has 2 receivers up top. Takes his time, has plenty of time to throw. Throws it down there, and identical play as last time. Michael Collins down the sideline looking for his block. Will he get it again?
Oh, my.
Finally brought down inside the 30-yard line. At the 30-yard line, we have a flag down on the play. And let's see where this one's going.
I think the flag's on the return. I think it got thrown after the return, after the interception was made, which would mean it would still be Rochester's ball.
So 40 yards on the return.
And the only way it's the initial indication by the official was clipping. The only way Rochester could clip would be after they had the ball. So they'll still have possession, but it won't be way down in Lake Orion territory.
So twice the Dragons have looked to pass, and they come up with the same thing twice.
How many times can you say that your leading ground gainer is a cornerback?
Let's take a look again. There he is.
Right to him.
Let's hear the call.
First down.
First down as the call was...
it was a clip.
And I don't know if we can see it.
Well, it happened around the 50.
First and 10, Falcons.
Actually around the 46th if you want to be exact. But it's still a first down and 10. It's just that Rochester's on their own 30 instead of Lake Orion's 30.
Yeah, big turnover and a big penalty there. Lake Orion, 2 turnovers, both identical plays, and the recipient twice was Collins. Look at that surge by the offensive line by the Falcons as he just rumbles for about 7 or 8 yards.
I'll tell you something. This is very impressive to do this against this Lake Orion defense. This is a team that's very strong against the run. Again, I think they can kind of throw out last week because of extenuating circumstances, and they did give up 200 yards to a single runner for Hazel Park. The week before, Pontiac Central, a great running team, gained 60 yards for the whole game, 44 of them on one play.
Penalty down on the field, and that'll take them across the 50-yard line. Let's hear it. Yeah, face mask. Didn't get a chance to hear it, but it was a face mask penalty that brought him out to about the 46-yard line of the Dragons.
They're getting that clipping penalty back.
They're getting it back, inch by inch. So Sirianni had a big gain, and they tack on a few more, too. Yep, back is Aaron Burton. He's put on some big blocks. Let's see what they do here on the first down. Sirianni following Burton again, and they gain about 3 yards on that one. So it'll be second down coming up.
Brought down by number 89.
Again, it's just, this is the offense that they want to run. They're running time off the clock.
Remember when you used to wear that kind of hat?
I've been looking for that thing. That's where it is.
Here's Sirianni again, following his fullback. And gain of about 3. It'll be second down and 7 coming up.
You know what we need? We need a multicolored telestrator so we can figure that whole deal out.
What each section means, I guess. I think there's a rainbow thing going on.
Oh, okay. Well.
Here's a nice gain out there by Ryan Brown. Brown, in talking to head coach Mark Merlo, he'll play in the receiver position. He'll play in the backfield for you. And that time came out of the backfield and had a pretty nice game.
He doesn't play either backfield position as well. Just one of their all-around athletes.
And he came up big on the fumble recovery and the two-point conversion. In that time, playing in the backfield and giving a little breather to the fullback, number 40, Aaron Burton.
Yeah, and they switch 4 running backs on and off all game long.
So Collins is in there now. Collins will get it, the first man through. It looks like he'll pick up the first down. No, they push him back. Looked like the surge was going to get him the first down, but they push him back, and he's short of the first down, so it's going to be 4th down.
Well, it's going to
and about 1
spot.
coming up. Let's see what they do.
Chad O'Brien with the tackle.
So great job on the Dragon defense to stop that surge from the offensive line and stop Collins. 4th and 1 now, and decision time for the Falcons.
Yeah, they're going.
They're going to go, but what are they going to do?
Quarterback sneak.
Let's see. Collins in there, along with Burton.
Yeah, if Collins gets all his yards and interceptions.
The Falcons didn't even set, as you could see. Now, is that a legal play? Okay, so
As long as no one's moving.
set.
In fact, that's something I used to like doing that with junior high teams. You go up when you need 1 yard, and you don't even yell.
Yeah, you can see there, they have their hands on their knees. A la the Cowboys used to do that all the time.
The idea of this is that you go up there and you don't even have the quarterback say anything. You just have some sort of signal whether he kicks the center in the foot or what, but you get it and the defense isn't ready. There's no way that they're ready for this, whereas they can kind of play off of a sound. They can't play off that.
Rochester calls timeout now. The Falcons timeout with 20.2 seconds left here in the first quarter.
They probably didn't need to call that, I would think. Well, it depends on when it was placed. It might have run out on them before the quarter ran out, but they'll use it now.
Forget to tune in next week. We will see the Seaholm Maples taking on the Kimball Knights. We'll be in Royal Oak as the Knights host the Maples. So don't miss that one. That's right here on the TCI Game of the Week, Saturday, Monday at 8 o'clock. Right here on Channel 63.
That'll be an interesting game. I'm wondering who Doug Frazier, the Seaholm coach, has left on his staff, because all 4 of the assistant coaches for Lake Orion, Chris Bell, Bob Carlton, Dave Tooley, and Mike Boyd, they're all former Seaholm assistants, so I don't know who's left over there.
Mark Merlo, you saw the head coach back there getting a drink, and his assistants looking on as they have a pretty good drive going right now with only 20.2 seconds left here in the first quarter. It has been a great first quarter for the Falcons, and the Dragons have done a nice job in moving the ball on the ground, but they haven't had anything to show for it. Handoff goes to Sirianni. Sirianni getting the backfield and knocked out of bounds before he can get back to the line of scrimmage. Good pursuit that time by the Dragons as the linebackers and the defensive back stepped up for that one.
Good quickness by the Lake Orion defense. You'll see everybody get back there before he has a chance to even think about turning the corner. At this point already, Sirianni's done. He's not going to gain any yards. Now he's just got to try to limit his losses, and Rivera finally throws him out of bounds.
Zach Anderson got there first, and Rivera got him out of bounds, and it'll be 2nd down and long. There you see Sirianni, 5 carries, 44 yards for him.
And that doesn't include the 10 yards that ball rolled to set up the touchdown on the fumble.
Sirianni again, right into a pile, tried to bounce out, but there the Dragons got him again. Nice job as pulling him out of that big pile was number 34, D'Onofrio.
Yeah, a little bit more inspired defense this time around by the Dragons. Maybe they can take that into the second quarter.
And that'll end the first quarter here at Lake Orion High School. It's all Rochester so far. The Falcons 14, the Dragons nothing. We'll be back right after this.
I'm the king.
Rock and roll?
No, coupons. I'm Mike Gauthier. Some people call me the king of coupons because nobody brings you bigger savings than my market share coupon book. Having trouble saving money? Then do what the Tripp family does. Carry the book, Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. You'll save thousands on things you use every day, like eyeglasses, oil changes, and cleaning from companies you trust. But you can't save unless you carry the book. Remember, you'll save a king's ransom using my Market Share Coupon Book.
The TCI Game of the Week. Tonight we're at Lake Orion High School And the Rochester Falcons visiting and not being very good guests so far, leading 14-0. Time of possession in favor of Lake Orion, but you take a look, 8:47 for Lake Orion, and time of possession for Rochester 3:13.
Making good use of the ball when they have it.
Yeah, with 2 scores in that 3:13. Back to pass, and taking his time, Benyon now gets pressure from behind, and finally gets knocked down after a gain of about 3 or 4 yards, so it'll be 4th down coming up.
I like the decision Benyon made on this, though. He was looking deep for Vito Charamilano.
You got it.
And Vito isn't open. And rather than try to force it and get an interception, he just tucks it in, gets as many yards as he can, sets up a 4th and 5, and they're going to probably throw it again. They aren't trying to kick here.
And you see Chad O'Brien.
Bootleg!
Would have got him. The handoff goes outside to Brown. Ryan Brown gained a few yards, but he's going to be short of the 1st down. And the Dragons will take over on possessions.
And there, I think they were hoping they would catch Lake Orion off guard, maybe with maybe a nickel package or something like that, and be able to gain 6 yards on the ground. They've been running pretty well. It's not a bad decision. It's the same as punting, really. They're at the 26-yard line, 27. If you kick a field goal or if you punt, whatever, Lake Orion starts at the 20. It's no big deal. And I think Merlot's got enough confidence in his defense right now that they can handle this.
And they've done so far so good in stopping the Dragons. Both drives, a couple of the drives have ended in interceptions for the Dragons now. Jimmy Lord, he's hit hard there by Aaron Burton. So a tough run there for Jimmy Lord, but he gets pretty good yardage out of it.
Yeah, you got about 7, maybe 8 yards, but I think you got to keep doing that. Mix it up. You can't just go to D'Onofrio all night long. You got to mix it up.
Let's hear that hard hit. And some crunching going on down there here in the early going as we start the 2nd quarter now. Lord on the carry again, and they stack him up at the line of scrimmage. It'll be 3rd down now and short yardage for the Dragons, and maybe they're just giving D'Onofrio a break here.
Well, he's been playing on defense too,
yeah.
And if you're having to chase down Sirianni all day, you're probably going to get a little tired. Give him a little break. He is out there on offense, but use him as a decoy, maybe use him as a blocker.
3rd and about 2 coming up now for the Dragons, as they have done a good job on the ground game, but have had some problems with the passing attack. Now they need to convert on this 3rd down here.
Penalties have killed them too.
Yeah. They give it to D'Onofrio, and he's going to be short, and it's 4th down, and Joe, it's got to be a punting situation here.
I think, I think you have to punt. I don't think that you go for it in the first half. You're only down.
There's a timeout call by the referees. They're going to measure it. It could be close.
Well, I think
they just want to give them a breather too down there.
I think what this is, I think they know they didn't get it.
Yeah.
Watch them get it now that I said that. But I think this is probably at the request of the Lake Orion coaching staff to know exactly how far they have to go. Maybe if you're within a half a football or something, maybe you think about going for it.
You might try to draw the defense off sides.
Boy, that is.
It is close. They might have it. Look at that. Inches. There it is.
Good measure.
It's by inches.
That's why we're up here and they're officials.
Yeah.
Did that look even close to you from up here?
No. It looked like about a yard away.
Yeah.
From the angle we're looking at. So Thule stays in, and the Dragons are going to go for it.
I think for it.
A gutsy move here in the early going.
Now, are you really going for it, or are you going up here trying to draw somebody off sides, and if they don't, at the last second, do you call a timeout?
I wonder. Let's see. If you're the quarterback, you say, hey, I can get an inch.
You would think.
You would think. But, again, they're going to try to draw them off.
If something goes wrong on the snap.
That's what I would do. Yeah.
Oh, man.
Let's see what they do.
Get in there! Get in there!
They're not snapping the ball.
No, not snapping. And they're going to go to the punt.
Boy, they almost had Jack Fugate off. They almost had him jumping, and he did a good job of kind of catching himself. He was on the right-handed linebacker.
Yeah.
Just caught himself, came back, and you could hear a couple people in the crowd say something. He didn't encroach.
It's here Tooley down there making the calls.
Get in there, get in there.
Yeah, the last thing you hear is timeout.
Timeout. Well, in that situation, if you're the defense, you know you're not going to move. So wouldn't you be an advantage? On the offensive side if you're a blocker? Say this guy's not going to jump off the ball because
at that moment,
at that
probably
time. So maybe you say, okay, I'm going to start the count again. Maybe there's a pause.
Yeah.
Start the count again, and when the next time I start the count, that's when we'll go. So if you're on the offense, you could try something like that and maybe catch the defense flat-footed.
It's true. Now, the question I have: did they even have a play called to do it?
Probably.
The thing I like is what Rochester did, though. You don't even say anything. You go up, you don't set, and then the defense is just on their heels. Well, they called timeout, and now they do have a play called. I think they don't have a punter up there, unless they do like they did last year and have the quarterback drop back.
Now let's see what they do. 4th and inches, big down, and it looks like they got it. So right off the bat, on the second time around, they get it. So a well-spent timeout for the Dragons as they pick up the first down, and let's see if this continues, this drive here for the Dragons.
It's a lot of confidence by Rich Burrell. Again, that's no big deal. You needed an inch, you gained a yard, but a lot of things go wrong. You fumbled snap, somebody does a holding penalty, anything. A lot of things can happen that make that a disaster and gives Rochester an easy 30 yards to their next touchdown.
Yeah, gutsy call, but they pull it off. And Rich Burrell's team has the ball now at about the 38-yard line. First down and a nice carry here. That's Jimmy Lord, carries into the backfield, and a nice gain for him. It'll be second and about 4 yards coming up.
And Lake Orion's got an injured lineman on the ground, number 77, James David. And here you see Lord getting through, and Hurst is going to come up right here, number 15, and make the tackle. And right at the bottom of your screen, you saw the injured lineman, and he's being tended to right now.
He fell face forward and then rolled onto his back, so you wonder if that was something, his knee on the side, or something from behind his ankle. So it looks like they're working on his knee. There's Lord. That is Jimmy Lord. It's not Lord right there. At 4 carries, 13 yards, and he's done a nice job in giving D'Onofrio a break there.
Yeah, and he's going to have to, obviously, I think D'Onofrio is the main guy they're going to go to, but you have to have a couple other people that at least the defense is going to respect, so that they can't key on him all night. We've seen that the last 2 weeks with Berkeley. You can't key on Corey Morris because Kenwan Gray goes nuts on you. Can't key on Gray because Morris goes nuts on you. If you key on them both, the quarterback does it to you. You have to have a multiple offense. All right, let's take a look if we can see where the injury occurs. Number 77 will be just in front of the screen here, right there. There's number 77. And, boy, I think he just got rolled into. And it's just one of those things that happens in the trenches. One of the Rochester linemen was getting blocked by someone else, went for the tackle, and he rolled into him.
Don't forget to tune into Transition as they tackle tough issues like racism, poverty, and current local problems on Transition. Jeffrey Miller hosts this interesting half hour designed to open your mind. Watch Transition Wednesday and Friday night at 9 on TCI 63. Here you see the injured Dragon coming off, and that is James David, 6'4", 285. That's a big guy.
Very big guy. He's a senior.
And you hate to see this happen to anybody, but to a senior. That happened to me my senior year, and I missed about 4 or 5 games, and by then the season's over. You only have
you played right tackle too, didn't you?
10 games. Yeah, I was that size, and thank God I for my height at 5'7", 285, it didn't really look that good.
Not even touched that.
No, I wasn't that tall. On the second down carry, gets him close, about a yard short of the first down. So the Dragons will have another third down and must situation coming up as Lord carried again. Looks like the announcement was Rickard on the carry, so correction.
And now let's see, are they going to go? I think it's a little long for a quarterback sneak here, although they got more than this amount of yardage on the last sneak. Probably go to some sort of veer option. Their option hasn't been working very well tonight. Every time they run it, I think they've lost yards.
So Rickard short a couple yards. It'll be 3rd and a must down now here. Let's see what the Dragons come up with. Second man through. And D'Onofrio is going to be short. 4th and about a yard or less coming up now. Let's see what they do.
Well, several guys were
in on there. He got a good mark. He got a real good mark.
Oh, yeah, he did. Tell you though, and but they're not even going to measure this one. They've already said 4th down. Aaron Burton, among others, were in on that. But the first guy to make the hit and the guy that really prevented the first down was Jeff Hurst. And again, this is Jeff's first game of the year. This is a guy they've obviously missed. Take a look right there, number 15, Jeff Hurst. He's not going to let him get there. Then the rest of the guys come in and help out after that.
Hurst, good size, 6'1", 215. Now a timeout. Call down on the field, and they're going to measure.
Again, I think this is something that coaching staffs want. You just want to know, do you need an inch? Do you need a full yard?
Yeah. Well, you got a real good mark by the ref as they were, let's see.
Nope.
Well, not as good as I thought, but
still,
I think that's where I thought he went down about a yard away. So.
And it's a little longer than what they had to go for the last time on 4th down. So I don't know that you run the exact same play.
Yeah, a little longer now for the Dragons than that last 4th down. Dragons are not making it easy on themselves. They've gone to 4th down now twice in this drive with 7:37 left here in the second quarter.
Boy, they own that time of possession battle, though.
Yeah, sure do. Darren Tooley, the quarterback, with D'Onofrio and Lord in the backfield. Hand off to Lord. Lord breaks through. Everybody coming in, and Lord breaks in to the backfield, out to about the 42-yard line of the Falcons.
Just a quick hitter, good blocking up front. And I don't know if the linebackers went and keyed on D'Onofrio or not, but it really doesn't matter.
Big hole there.
Yeah, they guessed wrong. They guessed the 1 hole and went to the 3 hole.
And a good block right off the bat by Geppert. Dennis Geppert, number 60 for the Dragons, really opened that up for Lord. First down at about the 42. Lord again, same play, and he breaks into the backfield again, down at about the 26-yard line.
Well, I don't know if they've seen something with Rochester in terms of stunts or what, but it's working. Whatever it is that they're doing is working because they're getting the blocks to the right side of that run. They're moving the lineman over, and he's dealing with linebackers.
Watch 60 here. You'll see him right there as he runs by. Had another block again. Geppert just sealing off that line and continuing to provide the room for Lord. They give it to him again as he goes through the 2 hole this time and lunges forward, and we'll see where they mark his knee. Down at about the 23-yard line.
He got through quick once again, though. And there you just saw a second ago, James David walking on the sidelines. Not walking real well yet.
There you see Lord with 7 carries, 45 yards. So
what, he had 13 a second ago, didn't he?
Yeah.
Nice couple of carries.
He's picked it up. Second down, D'Onofrio hit right at the line of scrimmage and knocked back. A big hit there again by Aaron Burton. Burton doing a nice job offensively blocking, and you see D'Onofrio hurting there after that. Look at this, right there, right in the numbers.
Just you can't block everybody, and it's one of the things of being a fullback is you don't have another back in front of you. And D'Onofrio's coming off a little shaken up.
Yeah.
Looking like it's a shoulder injury. The way he's holding his arm, that's what you do when you have a shoulder problem.
Shoulder or wrist? Looks like it could be a wrist or hand.
Yeah.
Let's see.
Well,
maybe he just got hit up in the chest.
Yeah,
he got hit hard.
When guys hold their arms like that, sometimes it's just that the shoulder doesn't want to let the arm down.
Yeah. He's down on the ground trying to get some air. Third down, the passing down, tipped up in the air, intended down there for number 21, Petrello. And that went flying in the air, and if there were a couple of defensive backs back there, it could have been the 3rd interception.
John Hanley covered him too well. Hanley, number 2 up top, he's got him covered. I think the ball was catchable. It's a little high, but it's definitely catchable, and Hanley's there to make the tackle, so he's not behind where he could catch the deflection. Actually, he's doing the right thing here.
You saw the dive in the back there, and that looked like it could be a pretty close play right here, just at the last second diving, as we see. 11 plays, 52 yards, 6 minutes so far on this current drive. We talk about time of possession. Orion has it. 4th down, must down, into the end zone and overthrown. Intended back there for Petrello. And that will end the Dragon drive.
No, it won't.
Let's see.
There's a flag in the end zone now.
Ooh.
Again, it doesn't have to be a catchable ball for there to be pass interference in high school football. If you hit the receiver, it's interference. I don't care if it goes over the fence.
And it's not half the distance. Let's hear the call and holding on the defense.
All right, well, same thing. That's a first down. That's 15 yards. Well, from the 20, it'll be half the distance and a first down.
Okay.
But take a look here. It's going to occur up here with these two guys. Now, we might be able to see it right here.
Right there.
Right there. Does he hold him up?
Or right there. Yep, he was holding on his shoulder.
If you
second
grab
time
it.
he saw it.
On the defense, first down.
Good call. Good job by the officials down there to see that. He had him right up here on the shoulder.
And again, if you want to say interference, holding, whatever, in the pros and in college, it's got to be a catchable ball. In high school, it doesn't.
D'Onofrio still trying to recover from that hard hit from Burton. But more importantly right now for the Dragons is their drive is still going. Stacking it up, the Falcons, and now the Dragons trying to get this thing in the end zone. They are missing D'Onofrio in there right now. They could use his blocking.
Thule tried to carry out the rest of the option as far as all the movement to keep the defense honest, and they didn't respect that at all. Now, I don't know how well he executed that fake or not, according to the Lake Orion offense, but that might be something you come back to. If they're not going to respect the option, maybe you go to it.
2nd and 8, 5 minutes left here in the second quarter. And off, no, the pitch goes back out, and look at some room out there. They finally cut him off. Rick Green just couldn't burn him a little bit too much to the outside.
Yeah.
There it is, Joe.
That's what I thought. Last play, he carried out the fake after the handoff to Lord, and they didn't follow it. This time, one guy followed Thule and hits him, but still, Green's able to get it outside. And again, it's fastest guy on the field so far tonight, Mike Collins, making the tackle. I think, if you can make Rochester respect that, maybe that opens something up in the middle. And like you pointed out, though, without D'Onofrio out there now, this is your bruiser. This is where you want him.
Yeah.
It's a little different.
So that hurts not having him in there, but see what the Falcons can do. Hit the pitch and fumbled out there. Let's see who's got it. The Falcons come up with it.
Aaron Burton.
Tough break. Aaron Burton has been all over the place. He's the one who took D'Onofrio out and now comes up with a big turnover. Let's take a look.
Now here,
fake here.
Fake inside, pitch out to Lord, and the pitch is a little high up in the shoulder pads.
Yep.
And he's just not able to get the ball back.
Just ripped it right in there. Lord came right up with it. Or rather, you see Burton taking it away from Lord.
Wow. That's a lot of time to take off the clock to not score any points.
The pitch, there it is. Hit him right up by the helmet and the shoulder pads.
Yeah, again.
And pinched him in there, and there is Burton with the big recovery there.
Rochester's going to take a timeout right now. I don't know, obviously, the Lake Orion offense that well, as you see the third turnover by the Dragons. But not only was that a little high, it looks like their spacing wasn't real good.
Yeah, and I think that's why it was high.
Yeah.
The spacing was the whole problem, I think, and that's why the pitch was high. We're in the second quarter with 4:43 left, and Rochester leading 14-0. They get the ball back on the third Lake Orion turnover, and they get it deep in their own territory, the ball at about the 8-yard line. There you see D'Onofrio, and now, or correction,
no,
that's not D'Onofrio. That is number 77.
James David.
James David.
There's your injured lineman, and it's an ankle, shin bone, whatever, but yeah. I'm glad. I like seeing the ice there rather than on the knee. That's something that I don't think you're probably not going to miss games for. You might miss tonight. But, that's much more optimistic to look at that than at a knee. D'Onofrio has no ice on him, but he doesn't look like he's going into the game anytime soon.
So I think what they're doing here, I think this timeout was just to give his team a break, as you see.
Well, you got a lot of two-way players on both teams, and
so
you do need to kind of catch your breath. But also, you're pinned in your own territory with a bunch of juniors. I want to make sure that they understand. Don't turn it over here.
Here's the time of possession. Lake Orion 15 minutes and 4 minutes for Rochester in the total domination. on the time of the clock, but the score, 14-0 in favor of Rochester.
You see, and they only gained maybe a yard there. Another reason to call the timeout, because you're pinned inside the 10 with a bunch of juniors who haven't played much, obviously, because they haven't had the ball tonight.
Here you see D'Onofrio. He's walking around, and you got two key players out of there, some big guys too. D'Onofrio providing the blocks and really providing some defense too.
And David, obviously, and David providing the blocks.
David is a big guy, and David providing the blocks, and he wasn't in there. It's really amazing how Lake Orion even got down as far as they did without those two guys. Handoff up the middle, and a nice gain for the Falcons. It'll be 3rd and short yardage coming up. On the carry was Sirianni, 25. Leading the way was 44, Ryan Brown.
You know, a little better blocking up front this time, and I don't think you're going to see them throw. I don't care if it's 3rd down, whatever, from inside the 20. I think you just accept what happens here. If you can get a first down on the ground, that's great. If not, at least you punt it back. You know, you realize it took Lake Orion 6.5 minutes to get it down the last time. They might not have enough time to score this half.
Yep, looks like they got a little bit less than I thought. It's going to be 3rd and long, really. Sirianni trying to bounce outside. Looks like he will be close to the first down.
He looked like a fullback there.
He sure did. And that spin at the end, I think, got him close to the first down. Let's see what they mark.
Well, take a look at this.
Need a measurement.
He's going to follow everybody into the line, and he's got a couple yards here now.
Right here makes the cut.
Coming up, watch this. Boom.
And here's a spin right here that might help him right there.
4th and probably less than a yard. Set up like they're going for it, so the Dragons are going to call a timeout, set up their defense.
And a timeout called by the Dragons, and the defense sets up and looks like they're going to say, well, what are you going to do? You're going to try to draw us off sides like they did to them? Or
I got to think if you're like Orion, you probably had your punt return team on the field already.
Yeah.
So you got to go back to getting the defense out there.
Now, if you're on the other side, you're Rochester. Do you want to try something like this? Do you want to give the ball up in this end of the field?
Punt the ball.
You're leading 14-0.
Yeah. I think, you know, you've been able to force turnovers all night. You've had a bend, but don't break defense. I mean, if it works, obviously it's a great call, and you've been able to gain a yard. Every time you've needed 1 yard, you've been able to do that. The problem's been on 3rd and 5, 4th and 5.
Well, Joe, your favorite show, Roadshow Video. Here we see the Renaissance guys, and which the Renaissance Festival is going on, and they were there last year. But you know what are they doing now?
Exactly.
Well,
why this picture, guys?
This month the guys take you up and down Michigan's main drag, the Woodward Dream Cruise. And it's on the Roadshow Video program, so don't miss that.
Don't forget to include the all-you-can-eat shrimp
Thursday.
dinner at the Knights of Columbus Hall.
There you see the fine crowd, big crowd here at Lake Orion. After the Dennis Mahan days that we had seen, Joe, against Rochester Adams when they had Mahan. They've been filling up the bleachers since then, huh?
Oh, absolutely. And last year, the last game we had here, last game of the season, Mahan against Dane Fife and the Clarkston Wolves, which got Clarkston.
Huge game.
Yeah, the Clarkston fans.
Yeah.
You know, you get those kind of crowds from both sides. That makes it a lot of fun. Now, after the timeout, we're going to have a measurement. Now, why wasn't there a measurement before? Must have been just requested again by the coaches. I would think, though, you'd want the measurement before you went into the huddle for the timeout with the coaches.
Yeah, let's see. Now they do it.
Yeah, now they measure and they see it's about a foot and a half.
I think they did that just so. Well, that one cheerleader. Did you see? She was very embarrassed that you saw her.
I think so. Yeah.
Did you see? I think our cameraman said Joe Abramson saw you do that.
And she said, "Who?
She was
What?
very embarrassed and walked away.
She said, "Who cares? Who's he?" I like how the PA guy here. He said 4th and 18 inches. He's exact.
That's pretty good. Here we go.
I want
and
to
it's
see
a
that.
punting down. And the punt being put on by Rochester. Big boot there by Granchi.
Get away from the ball.
Yeah, what's he doing?
Get away
that
from
could be anybody's ball.
Oh my. Good move. Good move right there by number 80, Mike McCutcheon, to fall in that ball, because I think it kicked into Rivera's leg.
I think so. I think Rivera touched it. Let's take a look. As the ball bounces around, now Rivera should just get away from it, but
Exactly.
he stands right there.
First thing you get taught as a punt returner, get away from the ball. Once you know you're not going to return it, get away. It does you no good to do this. Now, well, I don't think it doesn't matter now because
right through his
Rochester
legs.
guys touched it first, but still good awareness by McCutcheon to fall on it, and he's being told, get away from the ball.
Yeah.
And I don't know if you guys watch college football much. If you remember last year, Penn State against Northwestern. Northwestern almost blew the game by doing that.
Ouch. And that would have cost him
Rolled
the Rose Bowl.
into Brian Musso's back leg, and all of a sudden Penn State's got it, and they score a touchdown. But so even at the college level, guys forget. But yeah, ball's in the ground, get out of there.
Yeah. At that point, it wasn't going to go anywhere anyway. Thule in there to get his team going on a 1st and 10. They have good field position at about the 42-yard line. Thule to throw, has his man open out there, and Petrello gets out of bounds with 2:36 left.
Quick hitch, gain 5 yards, which is what they've been getting on the ground, but at least this maybe makes the defense play a little more honest. I think with the amount of time left, you're going to have to throw a little bit. You can't just grind it out for 2.5 minutes and expect to gain 55 yards. And this way he's able to get out of bounds, let them set up in the huddle. Maybe you set up a hitch and go somewhere later in this drive.
2:36 left here in the first half. Dragons on the move. They want to get their first points on the board. The option, the pitch. Good spacing there to Lord. And he'll be short by a couple yards. It'll be 3rd down and about 2 coming up.
Yeah, there's nothing you can do about that. That's a very well executed play. It's just messed up because Mike Collins is so darn fast.
Collins has
There's
been
nothing
all
wrong
over.
with this. There's nothing wrong with this. He just can't turn the corner on that guy. If he could turn it on anybody else, he's got the first down.
That's where speed will help you, and Collins does a great job of catching up to them. 3rd down. Thule throwing out there, and nobody there. So mix-up, big mix-up out there.
Now, I don't know if he's throwing. I don't know if he's throwing to Descharme or if he's throwing to Petrello.
Yeah.
If he's throwing to Petrello, he thought Petrello was going to hook back. And Petrello ran a fly pattern. Whatever it was, there was something went wrong there, and you can hear them yelling for the punt team. It's 4th down and 3. You definitely punt here. You don't give Rochester a chance to score again this half.
So 4th and punting down now for the Dragons. Back to punt. That'll be McCutcheon, Mike McCutcheon. Back to receive Collins. And it's Cheryl Milano. Collins gets it. Collins breaks one tackle and had him on the second one, and that
Doesn't
was
matter.
number 60, Geppert. But we have a flag back at the line of scrimmage.
Roughing the kicker. And Lake Orion's going to get the ball back with 15 yards and a good chance to score.
Yep, with 1:48 on the clock now.
Take a look
they're
here.
a team that really eats up the clock. Let's see if they can do it now.
This comes well after the punt, and I don't know why they had to run into him at this point. Right here, well, no, I guess he couldn't slow down, but he made no effort to slow down either.
He did not.
And in fact, I watched the official as he threw the flag. He kind of looked at him, said, you're getting it, and then he pulled the flag out and threw it on him.
So a foolish mistake.
Personal foul, roughing the kicker, 1st down.
Now let's look at all the positives for Lake Orion. Personal foul, automatic 1st down, 15 yards, and because it's a personal foul, clock stops. Because this isn't a change of possession, it's keeping possession, so otherwise the clock would run after the spot of the ball. But as a personal foul, it stops so they can kind of collect themselves and get into a huddle here.
So big break, Battershell with the penalty, and that really hurts the Falcons now. Let's see if the Dragons can cash in now. Handoff to Lord, and Lord has rocked the first man through. And at the bottom of the pile there, we can see it.
I think that's number 95. Aaron Topinka?
Aaron Topinka, one of the keys on the defense for that man, Mark Merlo. There he is. Look at that. Wrapped him up. Nowhere to go. Thule to throw. Throws it in the air, up for grabs, and nobody down there but number 21.
I don't even know if he was down there.
Cheryl Milano was down there, but that was
you could almost
hard
get
for him to get it.
You could almost get intentional grounding on that. Seriously, because he kind of hitched. At the quarter, Thule looked like he was running a hitch and go, but all the receivers hitched.
Weren't.
And none of the receivers decided to go, and he was getting rushed.
So Falcons may come out of this okay as we head in now with a 3rd and about 11 coming up.
If you got any trick plays, run them now.
Now he's only got one receiver split out up top, and that's Petrello. And he goes to him, and he's open, and he gets the first down.
Wow.
Well, you had the tight end go down on this side, on the near side, but Petrello was the only receiver up top, and you think the Falcons would have him covered and covered well, but he wasn't. Let's take a look.
The tight end was open, but great throw by Tooley, great catch by Petrello, but look at this thing on a rope, right to him.
That is the best pass he's thrown tonight, right there, right on the money.
Hey,
Petrello does a nice job of keeping his feet to get the first down.
That's as good a throw as you get at this level.
Yeah. Another bullet right there on the money to Petrello. So Tooley is showing us now that he's got an arm. His other passes have been lofts up in the air on deep patterns.
That's the difference. Instead of throwing fades to the corners, you're going over the middle. It's a shorter throw. You throw it hard. Clock is running. They didn't get the first down, so they got to go up with a no huddle here.
42 seconds and winding down as you see the clock.
As we see the clock.
There it is. I'm sorry, I was looking at it. And into the end zone. That'll stop it with 32.3.
There's nothing wrong with that. Now you've got third down in 1.5 yards, maybe 2 yards. It's kind of a tough decision here. Do you run the ball and hope that you get the first down? If you get the first down, at least the clock will stop for the chains to move. If you don't, I think they're out of timeouts. You're going to be in a lot of trouble on fourth down.
Yeah, they used their timeouts early. If you remember, the Dragons had called timeout a couple times. One on that fourth down drive, and then another one, I think, twice on that fourth down plays. So here we go. Time running out here in the first half. Let's see what Tooley does.
Big play here for Lake Orion.
Third and short yardage. They got to go for the end zone, looks like. And they do. Nice play in there. Petrello, touchdown. Touchdown, Dragons. They had to really go for the end zone, Joe, with this little time left. And they did it. The Falcons come back here in the final seconds of the first half and get some points on the board.
Give Petrello a lot of credit. Watch him, little out and up, little hitch and go. And right here, he sells the D-back that it's going to the back corner, and then he just turns and stops.
That's what did it. And Battershell had nothing. He couldn't do anything about it.
Yeah, and I don't know if that's the way that play is designed or not, but he did a great job of not looking before he had to and turning the corner around. Easy pass, easy catch.
So the Dragons miss the extra point, but they get on the board here for the first time with just seconds remaining here in the first half. 26.1 seconds in the score. Rochester 14 and Lake Orion 6. So things get a little interesting now, Joe, especially after the Dragons now. They know they can come down the field and do this.
Yeah, and I think...
And pass the ball, too.
Exactly. They've got a balanced attack now. Unless something disastrous happens here, they're going to go in down 14-6, which means one more touchdown and 2-point conversion ties it up. And now you've got a receiving weapon there in Petrello, and they get the kickoff.
Well, here's the thing. D'Onofrio's out, and you got the other player, David, out. So two big players offensively are out, and I think Rich Burrell has done a great job in adjusting to the players that are injured and say, hey, we're going to pass down the field, and that's what they did.
Oh, and again, Tooley, this was a different quarterback this drive. Like you said before, none of these soft fades or anything into the corner. This was hard throws over the middle. And Rolfingsmeyer going to need a bigger jersey.
Look at how long that. It's a good thing he's a big guy, because he can really get that
broad
across.
Shoulders.
There you go. You don't want a name like that for a player who's got a number 1.
5'2".
Yeah.
Yeah, a guy who's 5'2" and real skinny, and it comes around to the front.
Yeah. There's the kick. Touched by one of the up men, and it goes out of bounds. And that's where the Falcons will get it, where it went out of bounds.
Yeah, you're not going to get it at the 35.
Inside, let's see, inside the 15, at about the 14. Let's see.
That's right. If the kickoff
13.
goes out without them touching it, Rochester gets it at the 35. Now they get it back there, and I think you probably just run a quick dive off tackle and go in at halftime up 14-8. Too many bad things can happen inside your own 20 if you try to
drive.
go for it.
10 plays, 58 yards, 2:16 off the clock, and it's Tooley to Petrello. Time going
and
on,
as they
ticking
just
off.
down the ball.
As they just down the
The
ball.
quarterback's going to kneel on it. And I love this in high school. The guys don't realize that they don't have to stand there. They can walk off the field. I mean, in the pros in college, you see them leave now. These guys don't have to snap it or do anything. Just go, leave. See ya. You won't get an offsides penalty for that. Go.
There it is. And we end the first half in a exciting finish to that first half. The Dragons adjusting their offense and saying, hey, D'Onofrio's not here. We can't run the ball. We can't do that power stuff because David's out also as those guys head off on the cart. But they made a real good adjustment, and they're on the board now.
And how important are penalties? Rochester's first touchdown's on an interception. But why is it an interception? Because of a penalty that forced a long situation.
That's right.
Roughing the kicker
that hurt them.
Gives Lake Orion their touchdown. Penalties have worked against both teams tonight.
They have. The Falcons lead 14-6 at halftime. We'll be back with halftime statistics right after these messages.
If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports.
What TCI is looking to do is we're looking to be a full-service provider, a one-stop shopping place, if you will. We're looking to provide all the services that anyone wants to consume in the area of communications, whether that's cable television, whether that's telephone, whether that's data, online services. Our goal is to be able to provide all those through one avenue, and that avenue being TCI.
It's the way you inspire. It's the way you grow. It's the way you lead. It's the way you play. It's the way you work. It's the way you discover. TCI. It's the way you learn. It's the way you learn.
The TCI Sports Game of the Week is brought to you by Modernistic Carpet Cleaning, Comet Burgers in Royal Oak. Buy one burger, get one free when you mention TCI Sports. Mike's Market Share Coupon Book. And by Bell Tire.
You can see the moon. Very beautiful moon tonight over Lake Orion High School as we are at halftime here. And the Rochester Falcons lead the Dragons 14-6 here at halftime. And let's give you a scoring summary here. And the first score came off this interception. 79 yards. Tooley back to throw. And he finds this guy right here, Michael Collins. And Collins takes it down the sideline. And just basically untouched for 79 yards. The extra point was no good on that, Joe, and it gave Rochester a 6-0 lead.
And one of two interceptions that Collins made in the first half. The other one, only a 6-yard return because of a penalty.
So Rochester leading 6-0 at that point. They come right back on this fumble recovery by Ryan Brown. There you see Sirianni with it, and he fumbles on a hit from behind coming up right here. There's a hit, and the ball comes loose. But Ryan Brown gets the fumble recovery, and Rochester leads 12-0 at that point with the extra point attempt here. And it's Benyon rolling out, and he'll be looking for Brown again.
In the short corner of the end zone and the two-point conversion, so the missed kick doesn't matter. 14-0 at this point in the first quarter.
14-0. Now we head into the second quarter with seconds left. 26.1 seconds left. They scored this one. The Dragons go to the air with two big guys out, injured. They go to the air to Petrello. So Tooley with the 11-yard pass to Petrello. The extra point was no good, and that's where we stand right now as we take a look at the halftime stats. Passing for Rochester, none. They didn't need any. And it's been their defense that scored, as you see, lopsided there in the total yards.
Right, but again, Rochester has 85 yards in interception returns, which more than makes up for that. The passing for Lake Orion, most of that yardage came near the end, and like we mentioned as the half ended, they've kind of developed a more diverse offense as the second quarter rolled on. Maybe they can be a little more balanced in the second half. And turnovers took all that time of possession that Lake Orion had. The turnovers killed it, and it made it not only meaningless, it made it actually a hindrance because Rochester was scoring without the ball in a way with interception returns.
Well, there you have the halftime stats for you. We'll be back with the kickoff of the second half right after these messages. Stay with us.
On the Master Anglers, we bring you the hottest fishing action around the state of Michigan. From tips and techniques to advice and stories from the pros, the Master Anglers gives you the info you need to catch the big ones. Plus, it's just plain fun. That's the Master Anglers, Thursday nights at 8 on TCI Channel 63.
Welcome back to Lake Orion High School, where the Falcons will kick off to start the second half as the Dragons deferred the first half kickoff. And now the Falcons to kick off. It'll be John Handley for the Falcons to kick off. Number 2, you see him there. Back to receive, number 82. And that is Rickard. Adam Rickard takes it inside the 10 at about the 5-yard line, and he's out across the 20, close to the 25. So that's where the Dragons will start. And now you've got a Dragon team that's pretty fired up. They went in, they scored to really give themselves a boost into halftime, Joe, and now they've got the ball again on offense.
Yeah, and they showed that they're not one-dimensional. You know, they can throw, they can run a little option with you. If they can score here and obviously maybe get a 2-point conversion and tie it up, it's not just a tie game anymore. Momentum will have totally shifted over to the Dragons side.
And they are not out there with D'Onofrio, and the big guy, number 77, David, is also not in there. Here's the option, and wide open for the quarterback, Tooley, to take it himself. And he brings it out across the 30 and close to a first down. He'll be short of it, though. But a nice pickup on the first down option play by the Dragons.
Aaron Burton with the tackle, and that's one of the few times we've seen Tooley keep the ball on the option. In fact, it might be the only time we've seen him do it. But here they bought the fake. That's the best fake they've run. You can see even Burton bought it. He went for the first guy that he faked it to, and then he went off of that to get the quarterback.
So he's short by about 2 yards. 2nd and 2 coming up now.
Great passing opportunity right here.
Yeah. In the backfield is Lord. He gets the handoff. A big opening for Lord as he makes a nice cutback to get himself a few extra yards. He had the first down easy, and now getting closer and closer to Falcon territory.
I am not a coach. I guess you just run. Run it down their throat.
That's what he did. Watch the opening here. He has to run through.
Oh, great job pulling by their offensive line.
And a nice move there on Collins. Picked him up another 5 yards.
Spin him around, and all you need is 2. And like you say, at that point, just get everything else extra that you can. And again, like you mentioned, they're doing this without a couple of their main weapons on offense.
Adam Rickard now is lining up in the backfield. Rickard faked the handoff to him, and Tooley tried to pitch to Lord, but he just ran out of room. And anyway, Collins was there to head him off. Good tackle there.
Just not enough room to make that pitch.
Yeah.
And I'm wondering at halftime, did they tell Tooley, hey, you don't have to pitch it every time. Maybe you ought to keep it once or twice to keep the defense honest, because the 2 options that he's run, he has chosen to keep the ball.
Yep, and Topinka wrapped him up that time. So a loss of a little bit of a yard. Let's see, close to a yard. 2nd and 11 coming up now. We're just underway in the second half. Lake Orion against the Rochester Falcons. The Dragons with the ball. Handoff right up the middle and nothing there. And Topinka was right there, the nose guard, to stop him.
Nailed him. And Topinka, he didn't start the game, but he is one of the keys on their defense. And Mark Merlot had even said it to us, because if our nose guard and the rest of our line can contain these guys, we're in the game.
And they have contained him so far on this set of downs. as they head into 3rd down and 10.
And
coming up.
They're tonight 1 for 6 on 3rd down conversions.
And they've had a couple of 4th downs that they've gone on. Let's see what they do here. They've thrown the ball effectively on the last drive they did. Let's see what they can do here. 2 receivers split. Thule looking, takes it himself. Across the 50, and he'll have the 1st down.
Great move, and you know, Collins had him. Collins had him by the back of the jersey, and this is a case where you're not trying to outrun Collins, you're trying to make a move on him, and it worked.
Looks
but
like
Thule's
hurt.
Yeah, he's out right now. They just took him out.
Let's take a look where he might have gotten hurt, and if this looks serious.
Well, right here, actually it wasn't Collins, it was Burton he got behind, then he put the move on Collins, and now he gets nailed at the end, and I think he just landed kind of funny in his shoulder, but Rivera's in there at quarterback, and they didn't have time to even get him warmed up.
No. Rivera in there, turning, takes it himself, and he is brought down easily by number 15, Hurst. Jeff Hurst got in there.
But you know who is in there is David. Number 77 is out there. Now, what I was saying with Thule, it's kind of, it's kind of morbid to think this, but it's unfortunate that he got hurt so near his own sideline, because if he gets hurt out in the field, he can lay down there for a while. And while you're doing that, you get your backup quarterback, Rivera, a little time to take some snaps, warm up, get mentally ready to go in there and play quarterback.
Yeah, that play was not a perfect execution, as you can see.
Thule gets injured right in front of his bench, walks off, he's fine. The ref starts the clock for the play. Rivera's got to get out there and do it very cold. Now you've got 2nd and 11.
Loss of a yard, there you see it. 2nd and 11, and now Rivera calling the signals. Handoff on the dive, Rickard that time, and he did not get anything. Got back to the line of scrimmage, so it'll be 2nd and 11 again.
And Thule looks
11,
like,
excuse
and
me.
I think Thule's going back in.
Yeah.
Coaches are talking to both of them right now, and I think Thule's ready to go back out there. He is.
So Thule goes out, and that'll help now in the 3rd and 11. And it's a big break that they have, big number 77, David, out there. And the person you don't see is D'Onofrio, 34.
All right, well, if you paid attention at the end of the first half, keep an eye right here, number 21, Petrello.
And that's where they go. Petrello, too much traffic, and what a hit. Right there was number 2, Handley, and the pass was intended down there for Ducharme, Steve Ducharme.
They went for Ducharme. Oh, man, that had to hurt.
Let's hear the crunch again. Oh, that wasn't a
crunch. That was an escape of air.
That was the air coming out of the intended receiver, Ducharme. Bunting down. And he just got that off, and looked like they were going to hit him again. McCutcheon almost knocked down again.
Here he goes.
The return, look out. Sirianni, no, correction. That's Milano.
Milano.
And you're doing pretty good on that.
Yeah, I'm getting used to it. I thought he was gone.
Yeah. Nice return, Milano.
You know, all the time we were talking about the Lake Orion offense, as you see, Milano right here almost gets through. Right now, I think he's got one man to beat, and he just can't do it, and it's Petrello. Or no, it's from the side, actually. McCutcheon, the punter. You know, we did all that talk about the Lake Orion offense. That Rochester defense just had a great stand.
24 on the return by Milano, and here's a quick opener here. Nope, it closed up on him. The handoff went to Collins, and he strung it out.
I don't know how he got to the line of scrimmage.
Nice job by the Dragons to get him, but it looked like he was just playing with him, tried to see an opening.
Yeah, well, he should have lost yardage here.
Yeah.
This is a good job to get 1 yard, or even just to get to the line of scrimmage would be great. He actually gains a yard out of this. Right here, he looks like he's just dead in the water. And he does something I think is pretty smart. Instead of goofing around too much back there, he just kind of accepted it and
then took
what he could get and got a yard out of it.
Yeah, otherwise, they would have had him for about a 4-yard loss.
Exactly.
So as it stands, it's 2nd and 9 now for the Falcons. Benyon, the quarterback. He's got 2 backs in the backfield who'll go to the air. 2nd and 9, and he's dragged down for a big loss. And getting him that time was Ducharme. Ducharme said, hey, you guys hit me, I'm going to get you right back.
I was thinking the same thing. He's going, hey. Yeah, mess with me some more.
Yep. Let's take a look. Everything looks fine now until
Boy,
there's Sirianni missed his block.
Well, he got in quick.
Yeah.
Take a look.
You can see it better.
Yeah, Sirianni got him for a minute, and it didn't help that the quarterback ended up rolling right because Sirianni's trying to block him right, and that's just a matter of positioning. Now they've got third in almost 20.
Third and 20, here we go. Falcons, long way to go. They go to the ground, and look at that. Nice.
Good call.
Nice burst of speed by Ryan Brown as he hit the line of scrimmage. At first was slowed down, then he took off again to get back to the original line of scrimmage, or close to it.
Yeah, I think when you've still got the lead and you've got a quarterback who's kind of inexperienced, don't put him in a position where he's got to make the throw, because you really don't have to get a first down here. Just see what happens with your runners.
Here he seems stopped up, and then nice burst of speed here to just continue forward, and he gained about 9 yards right there.
Yeah, it's 4th and 10 now. You let your punter do it. Your defense just had a great stand. Let him go out there and do it again.
Back to receive. You see number 80 this time, and that is McCutcheon. And him doing the punting it away was Granchi. And stacking him up inside the 15-yard line. And the Dragons will start deep in their own territory. So no return to speak of that time for the Dragons.
So now you've got them pinned way back in their own territory. I think this does limit their options. You have to become not totally one-dimensional again, but for a couple of plays anyway, I think you are going to run it. And I think you even hesitate to run the option here. Well, if you get a fumble here, you're in a lot of trouble.
I have not seen D'Onofrio on the sidelines.
I haven't either.
Looks like he's out.
Yeah, I was looking for him myself, and I don't see any 34 out there.
They're going to have to go with this offense. Green is back in there. Rick Green, number 5, the tailback. He gets the ball and trying to fall forward for a few more yards. So gain of a few, and it'll be 2nd and long now for the Dragons.
Yeah, now they... Well, I noticed the quarterback, Tooley, he almost runs completely to the sidelines after every play to get the call. As you see the replay of about a 4-yard gain by Green. And it's usually not a big deal, but when you're deep on either side of the field, that's a long run. I wonder how much, I mean, it's no big deal each time, but as the game wears on, does that add up as far as endurance goes?
Game of about 4. It'll be 2nd and 6. And look at this. Big run outside and a nice carry that time. And the first time we've seen him. And
Adam Rickard.
Was that Rickard?
Yeah.
Was that 82?
Yes, it was. And we've seen Adam Rickard with a couple of nice returns, so we know he's got some speed.
It's hard to see the number from over here, but there, you got it right there. And it is Rickard. And a nice gain for Rickard, and that really helps the Dragons in getting them out of their end of the field, as the ball is now placed at about the 27-yard line.
Maybe you give him the ball more.
1st and 10, Tooley handing off to the tailback, and again it's Rickard, and this time they hit him right at the line of scrimmage.
I think Rochester was thinking the same thing. They're going to give Rickard the ball more.
Yep. Now they've mixed it up pretty good. They've had a lot of players helping out offensively.
Yeah, now you've got the ball out of, I think, trouble territory, the red zone inside your 20. And you can maybe pass the ball a little bit here, run some option. And there's less major disasters that can happen at this part of the field already.
2nd and 10. 4:20 left here in the 3rd quarter. Been a lot of running in this game. And they go to the ground again. And the Falcons stack them up. On the carry, that time it was Lord. We haven't seen his number called in a while.
Well, now that sets up a 3rd and long. And again, this is an obvious passing down. And this will show. That guy's still here, and I want my hat back. And let's see how much confidence they have in Tooley after what he showed at the end of the first half. See if you go to that pass play to Petrello again.
Dooley to the air, looking for Petrello. Nothing there, and it just all caves in on him. And getting in there, looked like 99 and 92 respectively. Looks like Kundinger and was it 99? I don't think there's a 99
Might have
there.
been Topinka.
Yeah, looks like 89. Or 85, Topinka.
I mean, good rush by the defensive line, but also good coverage by Hanley and Sirianni and Battershell. There was nobody open. Yeah, just he would have had to have bought a lot of time for any of those guys to be able to catch a pass.
Here's the punt. McCutcheon gets it off. It's a good roll, and it goes out shy of the 50 at about the 49. So great position now for the Falcons, getting it in Lake Orion territory. But there's a flag down.
Way after this play was over, and it's got to be an unsportsmanlike because nobody cheap shotted anybody. It's way after the play's over. Somebody had to say something.
Yeah, this may be a first down for Lake Orion.
Oh, somebody did cheap shot somebody, I guess. Yeah, I saw all the Lake Orion guys clapping their hands the minute that flag
hurt
went
him
up.
twice. That big penalty back here on the punter, which was really unnecessary. That led to a score by the Dragons.
Yeah.
And now this is just totally unnecessary. Now the Dragons are in great position.
This is a different level of unnecessary, though.
Yeah.
That other one's just over aggressiveness.
Right, exactly.
This is a different level.
Yep, let's hear the official call down on the field.
Dead ball. Personal foul.
Personal foul.
First down.
And because of that, it is a huge penalty. As the Dragons will get the ball. Looks like they're marking it at about the 36-yard line.
Now, I have a question here. If it's a personal foul, well, they're answering it. Is it first and 10?
Hold on. The Falcons get it.
The Falcons get the ball. It's after the change of possession. But what I want to know is, was it first and 10 or first and 25? Because the penalty came after the play's over. So do you sit at first and 10 with a personal foul?
Okay.
But I guess it is first and 10.
It was my understanding. I thought that it happened and they were going to give the ball back to Dragons, but the exchange of possession already happened, so that's when.
Yeah, I just wondered if it would be first and 25 because the play was completely over.
Yeah.
But no, it is first and 10.
So Falcons really didn't hurt them that much. They're going to go for all of it here. What a throw, and in and out of the hands of Shermilano. You did this to me, you know that, before the game. Let's take a look at the throw by Benyon.
I thought Zorn was an Italian name.
Here's the pass to Shermilano. Nice pass. As you follow it, right, hit him in the hands. But was that out of bounds? I think it was.
So good distance with that thing.
A lot of distance. 2nd and 10. I formation in the backfield. And the handoff going to the tailback. Look at this, the Falcons. Wow. Big run there by Ryan Brown as he got some good blocking.
You know how close he knows it, too. Look at him. You know how close he was to scoring?
Yep. Leading the way for him.
Look at this. He's got momentum right here.
Yep.
He's off to the races, and I don't know what it is he trips over. Somebody just grabs his foot.
Big number 40, Aaron Burton, leading the way. And a nice job by that offensive line to spring him loose.
All right, now
Third and one here. I formation again. One receiver split. He's up top.
Hard count him.
And off to the fullback. Burton gains about 5 yards on it, maybe 6.
Jimmy Lord. Yes, sir.
Let him do all the dirty work and then go back to your other guys.
And gained about 7 yards on it, and first down across the 50 now and into Lake Orion territory. Look at that muscle.
You know what's kind of ironic is, as we saw the time of possession difference at halftime, so much in favor of Lake Orion. I know a lot of guys play both ways, but this is a very fresh offense. They haven't played much tonight.
Yeah, really, when you think about it. The Falcon offense have not been out there that much. There you see Brown spinning, and that spin again. Let's take a look. Wait a second. The Dragons saying that they ripped it out of his hands. You could hear him down there.
Yeah. They're going to keep trying to strip him. We'll see how close they got to it. But again, Brown right through the hole quick. Breaks one tackle here, spins around.
Right there, look.
Oh, boy, well, now who has? If they both have it, he keeps it.
Yeah. I think they both had it right there.
I think he did a good job
down.
of keeping possession, but
yeah,
it's getting close. Yeah.
2nd down and 3. Benyon handing off to the tailback, and another 1st down, and the ground game for the Falcons, and Ryan Brown seems to be going pretty good right now, Joe.
Yeah, I think
this is their first real drive.
Don't even think about throwing it right now because Ryan Brown's doing a good job, Burke's doing a good job. Their linemen are beating up Lake Orion's linemen. That's why this is happening. Keep it going. Take time off the clock and beat them up. That's all you want to do if you're a Rochester Falcon right now.
This is the first real drive that they had starting in their own field, the own end of the field.
They've never had the ball.
Yeah. And up again. Ryan Brown. That time they stack them up. 2nd and long. 2nd about 9 coming up.
And they're going to probably have to run just one more play this quarter. Even though we only gained a yard there, I'd say keep running it.
Brought down by number 55.
Let's see if they even get a play off now.
I don't think they have to. I think the official waited till that clock got under 25, so if they don't want to run a play, they don't have to.
And they may not do it. As Benyon looked back, and you see stat on Brown. Benyon to throw. Benyon has him downfield, good coverage, and he's got it. Touchdown!
See, every time I say run, they throw. Every time I say throw, they run. And whatever they do works. You want to win a lot of games, coach against me.
And this time he hits Shermilano. Doggone it.
Easy for me to
I had it before the game, and then you said, oh, it's going to be tough. There he is, Shermilano. And he's covered well down there. Look at this.
Vito. Nice catch, Vito. There, it's easy. You have to say his first name.
Great effort.
Rivera had him covered, but yeah, pass was there. What a way to end the quarter.
And the extra point is up. And it's good.
We're almost in the quarter anyway.
So Shermilano hits it. And a great job in getting the hands on it. Good concentration. He was covered pretty good right there. He had a guy right on him.
Rivera was on him, and the pass was perfect, catch was perfect in a dark corner of the end zone. And in a high school football field, you don't have that NCAA or NFL lighting. Those end zones are kind of dark over there. It's not that easy to catch that ball.
Look at how much time left on the clock, too, here.
1.0. And this is another one of those fields with a basketball clock. So we could have had, 0.9 if they'd have just stopped it a little later.
Well, Joe, you did it to me. I have not had any trouble in pronouncing any names for 12 years. This is the first one.
No, if you see a name like that, he's going to score a touchdown.
12 years.
Inevitably.
I'm just going to point to you when I need to say it.
It's Vito.
Shermilano scores on the big TD pass from Benyon. And here's Handley to kick off now for the Falcons.
By the way, just so you know, he's a sophomore. You got 2 more years of this.
I'll get it down by then. The kick taken by Rickard. Rickard brings it across the 20, and not much further than that, out to about the 26.
Good effort. I like the way he returns the kicks, though. He's real quick about it, doesn't mess around back there. Make sure you get past the 20 before you try anything fancy. You see Rickard straight ahead, and you don't start making cuts till you get around the 20. Now he's got some blocking, just no holes opening up. But again, good field position, and that ends the third quarter.
That'll be the last play of the quarter as we switch sides, and Rochester Falcons get 1 score in that third quarter and lead it 21-6 as we head into the fourth quarter. That's your score. We'll be right back with more fourth quarter action.
When you call Modernistic, we'll show up with this: $35,000 worth of carpet and upholstery cleaning technology. Call the competition. They'll probably show up with this. Our truck-mounted equipment can professionally clean your carpets with 10 times the power of portable cleaners, removing dirt, harmful bacteria, pollens, and more. The competition can. Of course, there is one thing the competition does that we can't. They make a lot more noise.
Modernistic, count on us.
Welcome back. As you see here in Thule, heading out there for the Dragons, about to start the fourth quarter here at Lake Orion High School. He's got his work cut out for him now as the Dragons trail 21-6. Here you see the drive, 7 plays, 65 yards, 2:51 off the clock, 35-yard pass to Cher Milano.
Easy.
I got it.
Isn't that easy? He's a sophomore. You're going to say it a couple more times.
I've got to say it.
I hope he plays basketball. I hope you have to say. I hope you have to do it in the flow.
Well,
of the
that
game.
leaping ability, better play. Here's a slant in pattern, and it's complete. The catch made there, and it was complete out to Rolfingsmeyer.
And there's an injured
So
player.
after Cher Milano, we go to Rolfingsmeyer. Thank you, sir.
Yeah,
there it is.
Smith isn't playing tonight. Smith and Jones took the night off.
Yeah, there's no such thing.
But there's an injured player on the field for the Dragons right now.
On the far side, looks like a lineman. It is number 55 for them, O'Brien, Chad O'Brien, 5'9", 185.
He's getting up pretty well now. He's an important player. He's the guy who I'm pretty sure forced the fumble that ended up being a Rochester touchdown, but still a good aggressive hitter on defense and obviously one of their blockers on offense.
So O'Brien comes off on his own power, and that is good for the Dragons, as he probably looks like he'll go back in there. So split up top is Petrello, and Rolfingsmeyer comes down to the bottom. I formation in the backfield for Tooley. Tooley hands off to the tailback, and he is hit in the backfield immediately by the nose guard, number 95, Topinka. So Topinka making his presence known again, and that's what spun him around.
Yeah, I think Rochester's saying, welcome to OAA Division I.
Let's take a look. Who got in there first?
Pinka first.
Yeah. And also 92 in there, too, for Rochester.
Yeah, you know, you got to think a team like a Rochester who's been in Division I every year of the OAA, and a team like Orion that moves up, you want to say, all right, we're good down there. Let's see what you can do. I know like the Division II teams are all real happy to get a hold of Kimball and Berkeley. You might lose to them, but you want to welcome them to the upper division.
Timeout call down there as Petrello calls timeout real quick. And the Dragons call it. I think it was just something they were just not set in their play.
Well, you know what? It's 3rd down and 6.
Yeah. They want to make sure.
You're down by 2 possessions here.
Yeah.
You got to get this right. This isn't a quick strike team.
Yeah, they wanted to think this one out.
Speaking of quick strikes.
Hey, look at this guy. Look at that. How big was that, do you think that
I don't know. I got a tie that looks like that thing.
You still have one of those?
Yeah.
I thought you got rid of that.
Nobody would buy it.
Did you put like an odor eater in it too? Because that thing still smells. There's Mark Gomez, by the way. He's the Master Angler producer, and he takes you around the waters of Michigan on the Master Anglers program. He and his guests will give you advice on how to reel in that big one right there. That's Thursday night at 8.
Now, he's been getting on me. Well, I can't do it. I was going to do something.
There he is. There he is.
There's the Master Angler. You know, he's been getting mad at us for telestrating his glasses and his watch and his fish. And next week, we're going to telestrate something new on that thing.
Not only the Master Angler, but also a wacky cameraman.
All right. You know where all these fish go?
Where?
Right here.
Oh, I don't think he eats them. I think he's like that.
Well, then there's something else that's
Fisher on
been making him expand.
Tooley to throw on the 3rd down. Has Lord coming out of the backfield, and Lord picks up the 1st down. A great timeout call down there by the Dragons, as they have not shown that play at all, and they did a nice job. Let's take a look.
Little quick out to the back.
He just flares out in the backfield, and
this is something.
Lord picks up the 1st down and more.
It's a play you see the Dallas Cowboys.
Oh, look at it. He's showing. Well,
he's svelte.
You know, he has slimmed down a little. He has since last season.
He's eating fish light.
He is eating. Yeah. Well, he's not cooking it in oil.
Less
anymore.
tartar sauce.
That's right. Or cocktail sauce. The pitch goes back. And a fumble in the backfield. Please excuse me. Our director is talking into our headset occasionally and guiding us through this game. And
once a year he says something funny, and that was it.
That was it. And you see a loss on the play for the Dragons. So just as they pick up a 1st down, they get knocked back about 8 yards. So Tooley now.
Way to go now.
Yeah. Second down and long, 2nd and 17. Two receivers split. They show the pro formation, split backs. Tooley to throw. He's looking at one man, and he's got him. Oh! I think they gave him. Yeah, they gave him the catch. He did have possession, then he ran for a couple steps and then dropped it. And the Falcon defense is trying to plead.
Well,
now one ref says it's incomplete.
saying no.
So one ref who was right there said it was a catch. The other ref on the other end of the, who was further away from the play, overrules him and calls it no catch.
Milano argued.
Let's take a look. Let's see. I'd say that he had it and went a couple steps. Let's take a look if he did catch it. He definitely went a few steps.
See.
But did he have possession?
All right.
Did he have control of the ball?
Catch.
No.
Ball.
No control. No control. No control. Never had control.
Never had control of it.
Good call.
Good overrule by the official.
Excellent. Excellent call down there. And see, that's why this replay helps us so much. And that's why the referees are so good. They don't have it the replay, and we do.
All right, now,
there it looked like
first
a catch.
of all, now if you want to see why this guy called that a completion,
he was blocked out of the play.
We can back it up and show you what he was looking at. What was he looking at? What we saw. Yeah, and it looks like a completion from that angle.
We were looking at his numbers. And now they're on the sideline trying to explain it. See? Yeah.
Watch. Right here, he's looking at his back. To him, that's a completion. He doesn't see it until it falls down and it becomes a fumble. But there was a good 2 or 3 seconds where he didn't see the ball.
And I just wish we could show this to the coaches down there on the Lake Orion side. And he's saying the same thing.
Clearly a good call.
He's saying that guy on the other side of the field is calling it. Well, we know why up here.
He saw it. It was clear. And I understand why the coaches are upset. I'd be upset too. You know, you're trying to win the game, and the guy who is closest to the ball calls it a completion. Remember, the coaches have the angle we had as well.
Let's take a look down here.
All right, now remember, the coaches are looking at this angle. This is, well, actually, they're looking from a little
they're
left.
looking from behind.
They're looking from over here, so they don't see this juggling. They just see his back and him running in stride, and then they see a fumble, and they see the official over here call it a catch, which I don't blame him for either.
It's exactly what we saw, and we thought it was a catch until we saw the other replay, which the other ref did see that. They're going to do it again, and
if he
it's overthrown.
If he hadn't
turned the wrong way.
Well, if he hadn't stopped running.
Yeah.
Again, I totally understand the Lake Orion coaching staff being upset. I also know that when they see the replay, they're going to realize the officials were right.
Well, now it brings up 4th and punting down.
Lord knows they've already lengthened these games enough with this new rule. Let's not bring replay. I want replay in the NFL, but not in high school football.
Can I write commentary in the telestrator there, Joe's commentary?
I think you'd have to have replay at every game. It'd be pretty hard to do.
Yeah. McCutcheon to punt. He's had some close, and they didn't come in to block it this time. And it's taken back there by Collins. Collins makes a stutter step at about the 42, drops back to about the 39, and will get knocked back all the way to the 36. So good coverage down there by the Dragons as Collins gets minus yardage on the return. And the clock stopped at 9:47 left here in the game.
Let's give Battershaw a little credit here because there's a serious temptation coming up to make a block. I don't know if we're going to see it from here or not. Right there.
Yeah.
You see how he's avoiding that guy like crazy. And if he blocks him at all, he's going to get a clip, and they're going to be 15 yards back around the 20. Yeah. Good non-block. Good decision to just take the loss.
I'm glad we had a chance to show that because he had a play earlier that we didn't have that many good things to say.
Exactly.
I'm glad he came back and did a smart thing there. Here we see that is Ryan on the carry, Ryan Brown. And a gain of about 4 yards. It'll be 2nd and 6 coming up.
Remember something, if you're Mark Merlo, you're telling your Rochester guys, don't make any penalties. Don't do anything dumb. Don't turn the ball over. We don't need to score touchdowns here. All we need to do is get first downs and make the clock run. The idea here is not to add points. It's just to get the clock moving.
Play receiver split. Yep.
Play fundamental football.
Yep. Sirianni to the bottom of the screen. They go to the tailback that time, and a nice run, and will be 3rd and short yardage coming up.
On the other side of the ball, if you're like Orion, I think you got to start trying to strip the ball.
Brown following again his block, and the big block. Big number 40, Aaron Burton. Burton has been leading the way and doing a great job.
And he's doing all the dirty work. And then on 3rd and 1, like here, he's been the guy getting the ball.
Yeah, let's see what they do. They give it to him. Burton breaks through.
They are trying to strip him.
They are. Gain of about 7 on the play, and he picks up the first down and more. And a clock at 8:27. Let's take a look. Here he picks it up.
And right now, you're going to see one guy's got him wrapped.
Now they're trying to go for that ball right
there. You
there.
go for the ball.
Ooh, almost got it. Was that Remington?
Zach Remington.
Remington almost ripped it out of there. Ball in Lake Orion territory. Timeout down on the field as Orion calls timeout, and they do not like what they see so far, and that is the Falcons moving the ball very well. We're in the fourth quarter with 8:27 left, and we'll be back with more right after this.
Rumor has it, Comet Burgers is definitely the place to be seen in downtown Royal Oak. After the party, out for dinner, just looking for cold soft drinks, great burgers and fries, milkshakes or pizzas. Comet Burgers is the place to run into just about anybody.
Excuse me. Thank you. Thank you very much.
Even old what's-his-name. Comet Burgers, they're out of this world.
The Dragons head back out after their timeout, and they want to stop the Falcons right here as time is running out on the Dragons with 8:27 left here in the fourth quarter. They had one good drive to end the first half. But it's been all Falcons so far.
Yeah, they've moved the ball, but they've committed turnovers and penalties at the worst possible times.
I formation in the backfield with Burton and Brown comes up with it now. Gain of about 3 yards. It'll be 2nd and 7 coming up now for the Falcons.
The thing about it is, at this point in the game, score as it is, it's fine for Rochester. That's not good enough for Lake Orion. 3 yards a shot is first downs every 4 plays. Obviously, you've got to strip the ball if you're the Dragons.
Looking on, Coach Burrell.
You got to stop these two guys.
Yep. There you see Brown, 8 carries for 47 yards on the night. Quick pass, a quick opener, right up the middle, and look out. Steve Kelly on a quick opener, quick slant in across the middle, and you saw Benyon just dump it off to him, and it took off for more yards than they really thought.
What you didn't see was Benyon's reaction after that play was over. He jumped high enough he could have dunked a basketball. My gosh, and this is an incredibly risky play. And you're not going to get an interception or anything most likely, but you got, again, an inexperienced quarterback who hasn't played well the first 2 weeks. You don't need this play, but now that you've done it, maybe this carries over into next week, and now you do go ahead and try to score at this point.
1st and goal from the 10-yard line. And they don't get much there. Ball was just inside the 10. Ball at the 9, and here we go. 2nd down and about. Let's see where they're at. Here we go.
What are we at, about the 9?
No, right now they're inside around at about the 6 or 7 yard line. So they're calling it the 7. Benyon hand off to the tailback. Brown still on his feet and in for the touchdown. Ryan Brown in for a 2nd touchdown. And the Falcons have pretty much put it away now, Joe, with 6:44 left.
Yeah, pretty much.
I would say.
Yeah. I mean, everything we've seen tonight doesn't indicate that Lake Orion's going to score 3 touchdowns in half of a quarter.
Now, other things, things have happened before. We've had some crazy turn of events.
Yeah.
Up at Rochester Adams with this very Lake Orion team. Flags whistle.
Wow.
And you saw Handley just kick it anyway, even with the whistle.
Absolutely, things can happen. The only thing you have to look at is Lake Orion is going to have the ball anyway. It's not like they're going to capitalize on a potential Rochester turnover. They've got to air it out. They've got to hope that maybe Petrello gets open downfield again.
Foul, procedure, white, on time.
They'll knock him back just a little bit here. they'll try from the 15-yard line, so 25-yard extra point now. It is up. It is no good. Wide to the left. So the extra point no good, and it still stays 27-6 in favor of the Rochester Falcons. Well, the Falcons have led all the way, and I guess maybe that kind of tells a story of this game.
Yeah.
The interceptions early, the fumble recovery into the end zone. Things have happened, and they've all bounced in the favor of the Falcons.
And a lot of the, they have had the bounces go their ways, but they have made the opportunities for themselves as well. You know, you've got to force those fumbles. You've got to, hit the guys. They've made Lake Orion turn it over 3 times. You've got to be there to make the plays. They've done it. First week they lost to Birmingham Seaholm. From what everyone who's been to that game has said, they kind of let Seaholm back into that game, then lost it in overtime by a field goal. Seaholm's got arguably the best kicker in the state. That's just one of those things that's going to happen to you. Last week, Pontiac Central, you get into a hole against a team like that, they run wild on you. This is the kind of thing that maybe builds you for the rest of this year, and like we kept talking about early in the game, there's a bunch of juniors and sophomores out here. This really builds you up for next year if you can build on this.
Very young teams. Plays 7, 64 yards. 3:03 off the clock, and the 6-yard run by Brown. And 6 is what we'll call it.
One thing I like about Mark Merlo, though, is he says, let's not worry about next year till next year. We want to win right now, too, which is a real good thing to do because you do have seniors on your roster.
Kickoff is deep, very deep. Taken at about the 5-yard line by Rickard. Rickard up the middle. Rickard finally brought down, looked like he was going to break through.
I think the blockers got in the way.
And finally brought down and looked like number 35 getting there, one of the people, Battershell. Jason Battershell on the tackle.
Well, we're going to see what kind of 2-minute offense they can run. We saw it at the end of the first half. And here Rickard again with a real solid effort returning. Nothing spectacular tonight, but he's always getting it out past the 20. And here everything just gets a little congested, and he's not able to get through that last little hole.
1st and 10.
Solid
for the Dragons. Flag flies, and they're airing it out, and almost in and out of the hands of Green, and we have a new quarterback in there also.
That's what I noticed, and let's see if we can look through this roster. He's not on it. There's no number 7.
We'll check on that for you. Flag down on the field, and we'll check on that. 6:30 left in the contest. It'll be 2nd down if this penalty is not taken, but let's see what they call.
Illegal motion, offense, decline, 2nd down.
And it stays 2nd down.
Keith Jacoby's the quarterback.
Keith Jacoby is the quarterback now.
He was number 19.
And he is number 7 now. So Keith Jacoby lines up in a whole new backfield, too, to go with that. And a new receiver. So the 2nd team offense is in there. Jacoby feels pressure, and now he better go down with it, or yeah, that's going to happen.
Yeah, the blocking gave way. He had Green running a route. Green just didn't get the route done, and Jacoby didn't have time to get the throw.
Jacoby kind of had the ball alongside his body. I thought he was going to fumble it here if he got hit. Watch him now as he feels the pressure. Now starts backing up. Look at that.
Yeah, here's something. You can't do this. And you've got to, you're not in any
tuck
position
that away.
You can't throw from that position either. You've got to have it up where you can try to release it as well. They've got an excellent quarterback coach in Chris Bell. This guy was an all-county quarterback, all-state honorable mention quarterback in high school. I'm sure he'll work with him on that. Now, well, look who's back.
Tooley's back and in and out of the hands of Vito. Sharmilano.
No.
Yep. 21, I believe, back there.
What?
Yep.
Yep.
There he is. Right.
Could have had it.
There.
Throwing for 121, and he ends up with the other 21. Looking for Petrello, and I hope Sharmilano is like the top scorer on their basketball team. I hope you have to say Sharmilano for
Sharmilano. I can say it now. The snap over the head of McCutcheon. McCutcheon, will he get it off? He does.
Good job.
Great effort to get back there and still get it off as the 4 downs go by very quickly for the Dragons, and they are just exhausted right now.
I'm glad he got the punt off, though. You hate to see something like that happen where things kind of pile up on you at the end of the game. It hasn't been a blowout type of game, and this sort of thing happens and it becomes a blowout type of score. At least you're going to make Rochester earn any extra points they're going to get.
Good effort in just getting rid of that thing.
Well, he's made a couple of good plays today. Remember, this is the guy who, when they accidentally touched the punt as a return man, he's the guy who alertly fell on the ball, so they maintain possession. Now as the punter, makes a very athletic play to get rid of it.
Yeah, he got back there so quick. I thought he might fall on it and have him, get it out of the end zone and get 2 points out of it, but he did a nice job in looking around, see he had enough time and didn't get it off. Good quarterback. Casey Walker, or correction, I'm sorry, that is Benyon in there, excuse me. I thought they might have, Benyon just, his jersey's so clean.
Yeah.
That he hasn't, just kind of shocked me.
I think, being 0-2, being a junior quarterback who you want to get his confidence up, I think you reward him and keep him in the rest of the game. Let him be the guy to walk off the field with the victory.
Yeah. Benyon has one receiver split up top. Handing off to Brown. Ryan Brown breaks into the backfield. Fumble. Ball is loose. And the Dragons get it back with 4:46 left.
Good hit.
Good hard hit, and it got him right when he was breaking into the backfield. And look at he's going to get some big extra yardage. Let's take a look. Brown.
Easy first down at this point. He's already got that. And now he's going to get stripped from behind. I think Rivera, number 14, who makes the tackle, I think grabbed the arm a little bit. Somebody else underneath, McCutcheon, might have gotten a piece of it as well. McCutcheon, again, making a play happen, and Anderson falling on top of it.
So here come the Dragons back, and Tooley's back in there.
They've had 3 different guys play quarterback tonight.
Yeah. Tooley has time, unloads, and looks like he was going for Petrello, but then Petrello cut in, and then he threw out.
It could have been for Ducharme. He might have overthrown it. See, obviously we don't know what's going on with their offense, but it just seems like there's, I don't know, lack of communication, or are they running different plays? Seriously, where maybe the routes are confused. Lord knows if with all these former Seaholm coaches, they've got the most confusing offense this side of Eisenhower. There are a lot of options in those routes.
2nd and 10. And there it is. Goes out to Petrello that time, and maybe Petrello didn't cut. He should have cut outside and didn't. Well, that time he did.
Yeah, again, I'm only being half facetious about this. Like I say, all their assistants do come from the Seaholm offense. As you see him run right into one of the chain guys here, Petrello. The offense that they run in Birmingham is every receiver has an option. There's 2 possible routes on every play, and you read the D-back, and you have to read it, and the quarterback has to make the same read you do, which means you have a split second to do it. If you don't make the same reads, things happen that look crazy to the person observing from afar, but, on the field it's just a misread by a receiver or a quarterback.
3rd and short yardage, less than 1. And off to the tailback. Rickard breaks into the backfield. Oh, and he slips. He had a block out there.
That side of the field, that's where the receiver slipped. That's where a cornerback has slipped, and now a running back has slipped.
That led to the first touchdown.
Yeah.
Let's take a look. Here Rickard breaks into the backfield, and he's got 1 block downfield. Petrello has
make a cut.
And he couldn't.
He didn't even cut, though.
Yeah.
That just...
Tried to straighten it out. To... Really not a cut. He just tried to go straight upfield. It's Rickard again. Gain of about 3 or 4. We'll see where they mark it. Clock ticking down. 4:15 left in the game. There you see Darren Tooley looking on.
I think that last play, you file under stuff happens.
Yeah. They're still probably arguing that bobbled pass too down there. That really, and we didn't even see it until we saw the replay. What really happened? Two receivers split, back to pass. Tooley, plenty of time, and now he's getting pressure. He takes off with it, trying to get out of bounds. Nice
Credit to
Mathis
a couple
out there.
people here. Petrello with a good block. Tooley with a good decision. I saw Ducharme open. It is tough to make that turn and throw it. Some quarterbacks can do it, some can't. Let's give a little credit to the official, too, because it's a very tempting thing to call a clip here or a block from behind, and it's not a block from behind. Take a look. If we can see it right there, well, we don't have enough of it to see there, but that's a clean block. It's right on the side. The side is legal. He didn't block him from behind, and there were some people from Rochester complaining.
There it is, right there.
That's a good block.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's tempting for an official to make throw a flag there. He didn't.
There's Petrello on Mathis. Tooley rolling out, pressure's on, dumps it off to Lord. Lord brought down right away by number 55, Marcelo. Or Hale Marcelo on the tackle.
Yeah, Tooley's getting blitzed right from the start here. Well, this is the play before.
The play before with the block, and you can see the block again.
Yeah,
there it
right
is, right
there.
We're still arguing that down on the field. And again, with Rochester on the far side of the field, they really couldn't see it. Two receivers split down to this side. That's where Tooley rolls out. He's got him down there, open down. If he just let him go just a little too much. What a play.
And
what a play down there.
Yeah, and Tooley was on the sidelines that play, actually. They had Revere out there playing quarterback.
Oh, Revere.
They got that triumvirate of quarterbacks. Hey,
So they keep switching Rivera, and yeah, that is Rivera. There he is, 14. So Rivera has to throw across his body, Joe, and he does a nice job, nice pass.
I mean, I don't know, a lot of quarterbacks that I know say that's easier to do than to roll the other way, because when you roll the other way,
You have to plant this way.
you're throwing across your body and you always throw left. This way, you force yourself to turn your shoulders and throw square.
Correctly.
Yeah.
So Tooley is back in there now, so we're going to try to keep up with this. Tooley throwing, quick pattern right up the middle, and they get him. Let's see who they got down there. And it's number 89, the tight end. And that is McKay, Dave McKay. McKay. There it is. And Tooley again finds him. Tooley with a nice, he's got good, sharp, quick passes. There he is again. This time lofts it into the end zone. Has time. Oh! He did a nice job in giving his receiver time to get under it.
That's the dark corner of the end zone, too, though.
It is very dark down there. Petrello, the intended receiver. But it is, yeah, you can call that the dark corner, all right. Hardly any lighting down there.
And that's most high school fields. You know, you've only got two banks of lights
But
on
by
that side
doing
of
what
the
he
field.
did, look at how much time he gives him to adjust.
He still almost had it.
Yeah.
Question is, if you catch it in the dark corner, does anyone even know about it?
Quick pattern again, opens up, and again, McKay has it. He's inside. Did he pick up the first down? Let's see.
I think so, yeah.
He did, and it's first and goal. With 2:28 left in the game, the Dragons will not go quietly. They want to get some more points on the board here.
Well, and obviously, to me, anyone watching this game, their offense is talented. It's just inconsistent. That's the thing you've got to work on for the next couple of weeks, is just getting consistency with both your passing game and your running game, and then nobody can key on one or the other.
First and goal. Pass coming out here.
Great play, and it was there, and it just didn't happen.
Didn't happen. Rolfsmeyer out there.
Well, come on. You got Chair Milano. You can get this one right.
Rolfsmeyer.
Thanks.
Missed a syllable. There's Rolfsmeyer. And
Pass is behind him.
A little bit behind.
Well, the way they had that play worked out, though, with all these crisscrossing going on, it was easy touchdown.
Second and goal. They've gone to the air. I know. They've gone to the air, and I'm surprised they have so much now. But they're in that pattern. They want to go to the air again, and out of the hands of McKay.
Boy, did he knock it down or not, though? He had a defender all over him. I mean, not all over him in terms of committing interference or anything, but it's good coverage. Let's take a look.
They haven't run once.
Does it get knocked down? I think it does.
Yep. Good effort
Collins.
by Collins.
28. Keep seeing 28 all over the field defensively.
Rickard has run well. Lord has run well. Let's see what they do
Sneak
again.
it
They're
from
gonna,
here. Just sneak it in and get it.
They do. They go to the ground, and there's Rickard gets in for the touchdown. Adam Rickard gets in, and the Dragons don't go quietly. It's 2:05 left on the clock.
Well,
Adam Rickard
one
gets
thing
in.
I'm guessing too, though, is that they're throwing the ball with the idea, and rightfully so, that if it's incomplete, the clock stops. And you go for 2 here, and I guess you onside kick. I mean, if you get it, you score, and you have to. This is the optimistic viewpoint from Lake Orion. You're gonna score 3 touchdowns.
And they got him.
I like that play. Everybody thought it was going short to Rolfensmeyer.
Petrello now flag flies after
holding on the defense, I'm sure. I'm sure it's holding on the defense because they grabbed Rolfensmeyer.
So,
45?
Hey, the Dragons may have something else cooking now.
Yeah, I saw the way everybody converged on Rolfensmeyer. I saw somebody grab him from behind, and everybody in that defense kind of converged there. Thought they were going to throw a quick hitter short.
Dead ball, personal foul. White be assessed on the kickoff.
Anyway, it made it real easy to throw to Petrello in the back of the end zone for that extra point.
Here's Rickard on the run again.
Just fouls blocking into the hole, make a quick cut, easy touchdown.
Let's go, kick up, we got it. Go, kick up. Go, kick up, let's take him, baby. Go, Casey.
And here the penalty will be assessed to the Falcons now.
You're going to kick the onside kick. I'm assuming it's an onside kick from Rochester's 45. Means if you get this onside kick, you're going to be around the 30-yard line, 30, 35. You know, maybe they can score 2 more touchdowns.
Let's take a look at the drive. 11 plays, 75 yards, 2:41 off the clock.
That's good. That's
three-yard run.
That's important.
Yeah.
They've been putting up 6-minute drives all night. Now you need, well, there's not 2:41 left, so now you need minute-long drives.
Here's the onside attempt. Did it go 10 yards? It did, but goes out of bounds in the penalty.
I like that setup. You had no idea who was kicking that.
Well, they can do the.
I like that though. You can't, from Rochester's standpoint, you can't key on who's running to the ball.
Yeah, they brought him out of nowhere.
Yeah, and it was the guy who scored the touchdown, Rickard. Didn't work, but it's a nice effort.
Good try. The Falcons will get it now with 2:04 left in the game.
On the kick.
That'll probably
penalty
do it.
is declined. First down.
First down at the 35-yard line. Where are they? No, where are they taking it?
Take it where the ball went out of bounds.
Right, went out the 30, about 32, 33-yard line.
Yeah, that's why you decline that penalty, so there's no re-kick options or anything like that.
First and 10, I formation for Benyon as he continues to quarterback the Falcons. And look at this, bouncing outside is Sirianni. Sirianni going down the sidelines and hit hard at the 40-yard line. Sirianni has not been in there that often.
He's got his bell run.
Yeah, it's been pretty much Brown, but Sirianni did some nice running early in the game, then we haven't seen him.
Look at this. This is some quickness. I think a lot of that has to do with the game situation, I would guess, and that with a big lead, all you're trying to do is grind it out. This guy seems more like what you're seeing here, an outside runner, a lot of speed. When you're really trying to score, I think they're accepting the touchdowns if they get them. They've been trying to grind it out, especially in the second half. And now you do have your regular 2 running backs in the backfield now.
Clock is stopped with 1:55 left in the game. Benyon handing off to Brown, the tailback, as he gets close to a first down. Brown with a great block ahead of him again from Burton.
You're starting to see 1 or 2 clean jerseys come in, and there you saw, I think, Brown a little upset. Maybe with the way he was hit, maybe he got hit a little late, I don't know. And his teammates were pulling him across saying, don't do anything, because if you get kicked out of this game, you're also kicked out of next week's game. Don't, just think out the game one, go sit down.
Great job by that offensive line for the Falcons. They really came through tonight by opening some big holes there for Brown and the backs to get through. This time, nothing there, but did he get close to the first down? Let's see. Flag down also. Maybe close to the first down, but also close to maybe a holding call here.
It's an illegal participation, 12 men on the field.
Yeah, it looks like it was. Yeah, 2 guys just went off the field. So that'll knock him back.
Illegal participation on the offense.
So legal participation. That would be like you and I trying to get on the field and play.
Well, that would be absurd participation.
Let's take a look. Well, we're trying to count the players. And I don't think we can get that in.
Yep, can't do it when it's moving.
There, the play, and it just looks like there's too many white shirts.
Well, there's too many clean white shirts. It's a bunch of guys who haven't played, and that's, I think, why. You got
too many guys out there. That's why they noticed.
Yeah.
Too many clean ones. And they stack them up again, and it'll be 3rd and long coming up now for the Falcons.
Yeah, this is the chance for some of the backup guys to get the jerseys dirty. That jersey's dirty already.
Yeah, Brown's had a big night and a lot of carries for him. And he's been grinding it out. So the substitutions continue to come in on both sides.
And they're going to keep Benyon in there. I like that. Let him finish it out. It's his game. Let him be the one to kneel down.
3rd and 14. You see the clock ticking down in this one. As they go down to one knee, and flags fly everywhere.
All right. We've been nice to the officials, but you don't need to call this penalty.
Which one was this?
You don't need to call any penalty here.
There it is.
You don't need to call anything here. You got a bunch of guys who just aren't used to playing in the game right now.
Dead ball, procedure on the offense. Still first down.
I think the refs are trying to teach him for next year. Hey, we don't want this next year.
Yeah, I know. They're not going to have to snap the ball anyway. That's going to do it because the clock starts after that penalty.
3rd and long, and that'll do it as the Falcons come up big. They led 14-0 at one point and really didn't look back as, well, they did at one point when it was 14-6 and said, we better get in gear, and they did, as the final score turns out to be 27-14 as these two teams shake hands. And, Joe, it looked like the Falcons were going to run away with it early. Then we saw Lake Orion with a valiant drive to end the first half. Came back, made it 14-6, and it just was the Falcons the rest of the way.
Yeah, and I think at halftime, I'm sure Lake Orion went in and said, hey, each offense just scored once. Their defense scored once. That's why they're winning. We're in this game, and they really were in the game. They dominated time of possession. They just weren't able to consistently keep the ball moving. They get 50 and 60-yard drives. The problem is that they needed 70 and 80-yard drives, and they turn it over, punt, whatever. Just didn't happen for them tonight.
So big game for the Falcons as they are 1-0 in the conference now.
Exactly, and Lake Orion is wishing they were back in Division II right now, but we'll see next week how they do.
And both teams go to 1-2 overall. So we will be back to give you the final stats on this one. The final score, the Rochester Falcons 27 and the Lake Orion Dragons 14.
So the tire store guy says, great deal on them tires. You want valve stems? No thanks. Your tires won't work without valve stems. They're extra. Then he told me all the other extras I needed. So guess what happened to my great deal on them tires?
Only Bell Tire gives you out-the-door pricing. You get the guaranteed lowest price, and at Bell Tire, it's the total, complete, everything's included price with absolutely no extras ever.
Bell Tire.
Nobody comes close, nobody's closer.
Oakland Press Perspective with Neil Monroe is an informative talk show that discusses issues often overlooked by broadcast stations. Neil Monroe, the editor of the Oakland Press newspaper, will keep you abreast on hot topics, events, and issues taking place in Oakland County. So for news you can use, join Neil Monroe every week on the Oakland Press Perspective, Friday night at 8:30 on TCI 63. If you wish a video cassette of TCI Sports, the cost is $25. Send a check payable to TCI, along with your name, address, and the names of the teams that played in the game, to TCI Sports Videotapes, 4500 Delamere Boulevard, Royal Oak, Michigan, 48073. Remember to tell us which game you wish to receive. And thank you for watching TCI Sports. TCI Cablevision of Oakland County, nominated in 3 categories for National Cable Ace. Sports Programming, Public Affairs, Overall Commitment to Local Programming.
And the Cable Ace Award goes to Transition. The Cable Ace goes to TCI Cablevision of Oakland County.
TCI 63. See what you've been missing.
And welcome back to the TCI Game of the Week. This week, the Falcons defeating the Lake Orion Dragons here at Lake Orion High School, 27-14, the final score. And let's take a look at the final stats and see if things kind of evened out. Time-wise, down at the bottom, still Lake Orion led, but let's take a look at the passing yardage. Pretty even there.
Well,
rushing yardage, pretty even. So you look at, hey, 1 yard difference there.
Yeah, but there's that 79-yard interception return. The funny thing is, I'm pretty sure Rochester's passing yardage came on 2 completions. One of them the touchdown at the end of the quarter, and the other that quick hitch or quick overpass to the tight end that got him down for the set up their last touchdown. Turnovers right here were huge.
Yeah.
The other thing that we don't see is penalties. They seem to come at the worst possible times.
And then these two here, the time of possession and turnovers, they go hand in hand.
Absolutely.
Because they had the ball for so much time, then they'd turn it over.
Mhm.
And really, the Falcons really didn't have to do much to get in the end zone, especially early on with the interception and the turnovers. Here you see the scoring by quarters. 14, Rochester started out, and those were pretty much handed to them by the Dragons. Dragons came back in the second with 6. And then you see Rochester finish it off 7 and 6, and then Lake Orion came back with their touchdown and 2-point conversion to make it 27-14.
And now you've got a couple of teams that are both 1 and 2. Lake Orion 0-1 in the conference. Rochester 1-0. Maybe it is, a fresh start for the Falcons. You're not predicting playoffs or anything like that for them, but if they can go 4-5, 5-4 with all these juniors and bring up that undefeated JV team, they can really set up next year. But Mark Merlo said, let's worry about this year now. Next year, we'll worry about that next September.
And let's take a look at next week. The Seaholm Maples will visit the Kimball Knights. And we'll show that one to you Saturday and Monday at 8 p.m., and we'll be there for that one. Should be a pretty good matchup, Joe.
That's a couple teams that were in the playoffs last year, and they know each other back to the SMA days, so this is an annual rivalry.
Okay, so look forward to that one. That'll be next week, and we'll see you then. This is the final score here at Lake Orion. The Rochester Falcons 27, the Dragons 14. For Joe Abramson and our entire TCI staff, thanks for tuning in. We'll see you next week from Royal Oak Kimball.